You're listening to Hair of the Dogcast, part of the HyperX podcast network. Hey everybody! Happy New Year and welcome to a brand new episode, the first episode of 2022 of Hair of the Dogcast. What? Yes. That's right. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Tom, and we are coming at you with our best of 2021 episode. So this is final and
conclusive.
Very conclusive.
No
These
arguments.
are the best things in the world.
2020 fun.
We're not ready to let go of that year. It was such a great year.
It was the best year. It was called 2021.
You know what? Best year of my life.
Yes, and we are here with almost the full dog pound. We are missing our buddy Josh, who is down in Miami, I guess.
He just could not be bothered.
Yeah, what a jerk! First of all, I begged him not to go, and he would not listen to me.
He was hanging out at some brewery called J. Wakefield with Darth Vader. Like, not cool at all.
Just the shittiest brewery, and
no one loves it.
No,
He also adopted this shitty posh English accent.
Why is Josh only speaking an English accent now?
It's very inconsistent.
Except he thinks he's doing a posh English accent and he insists on it, but what he's doing is like a weird Australian one.
Right. So who is here today?
My name is Brad.
Brad. Hello.
And yeah, I'm here enjoying my first beer of the year. I'm doing a mostly dry January, so the only time I am drinking this month is while you're listening to Hair of the Dogcast. While you're listening to this recording. Anyways, that could be a lot. But yeah, so I'm enjoying a tropical slush. Had a great holidays. Got more tattoos done on my Bloodborne leg sleeve or whatever. My full pant, you want to call it?
Like today.
Earlier today. So that's good, and actually kind of an in-between time for games for me. So enjoying, I got the Final Fantasy VII Remake Ultimania coffee table book, and it was really cool seeing the design documents.
It's good to see you're still into that Final Fantasy VII stuff. Good.
And I watched Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City last night.
Oh.
And oh boy.
I'm excited to hear about this.
Yes. I texted Dom and he sent me a long paragraph back about his thoughts. So
that's the live action?
I'm going to have to
the new live action one.
Okay.
Where they take the plots of 1 and 2 and they said one movie.
Yeah. Itchy Tasty.
That's in the movie.
Yeah. I saw the trailer.
And I'm just saying there might be a canonical reason why Wesker has to have sunglasses now.
That's great.
Oh, no.
Pink eye.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
Speaking of pink eye, who else is here?
Oh, God. I got pink eye like 3 weeks ago.
I didn't know.
I did actually.
I was trying to do a bad transition, but
I had to call in.
You got the vaccine.
It's me, Big Tex. That's right. He's back.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Are you going to do a new name for the year?
Oh, well, you know what? Maybe I'll have a new one each time. I'm not anonymous. You can fucking figure it out. My name's Dylan. Jesus Christ.
Your name is Dylan. Jesus
I had to spoon feed that to you. Come on, guys. You know.
It's great to see you. It's great to have you here.
We're happy to have you.
We're happy.
It's great to be here.
Absolutely. And Hair of the Dogcast is also brought to you by some awesome executive producers, such as Ryan Christenick, Kip, Tyler Keller, Brian Ward, Kate Conti, and fluffy, wonderful, super awesome listeners, such as yourself. If you would like to support what we do here at Hair of the Dogcast and all of our shows, go to patreon.com/Hair of the Dogcast, all one word. Check out our tiers. And we have tiers starting at just $1. And if you don't feel like supporting us, it's okay, I guess.
We would really appreciate it.
It would be nice, but, hey, you do you. It's been a rough year. And
I have tears starting from my eye duct.
Tears from a text.
Dylan hasn't had any beers for 2 weeks. Can you please donate just $1?
I just want to drink my cool ice.
Good night, all you princes of New England. That's horrible. All right, Michael Caine has made it to the dog. Bad Michael Caine's made it to the
God.
dog.
We're going to have to bring that character
I thought you were
back.
doing the priest from Princess Bride.
Oh, there's that too.
Dear wee beloved.
Dear wee beloved. Hey, we haven't dogcasted in such a long time.
Yeah.
It's been almost a month and a half, so it's really good to be back. And with you guys, and it's good to be back with our listeners. So thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy this episode. We are going to be talking about our favorite stuff of 2021. We're not quite ready to let go yet.
Oh, yeah.
Not yet. But
Time is cyclical,
It is a flat circle.
and we are trapped within its unruly walls.
Time is a flat circle.
Is that a good amount, Tom?
That is fine. Brad, did you know that Hair of the Dogcast is a podcast about video games and beer? We drink actual beer.
What the fuck?
The podcast.
Say what?
That seems irresponsible.
What did you just
That
pour?
seems irresponsible. Well, my older brother, a supporter of the show, he gave us a couple beers to drink for this episode.
He looks younger than you.
Executive producer Brian Ward.
Executive producer Brian Ward. This is from Boulevard Brewing. This is the Magic Drip. It's an imperial stout with coffee. It's a pretty light beer, 13.5%.
Wow.
It smells it.
Yeah,
Oh, it
that's
smells it.
daddy thick.
But it is delicious.
I do like Boulevard a lot. Are they out of Missouri?
Yep, Kansas City.
Okay.
Well, you can. Oh man,
That's good.
you can. You really get the alcohol from
It's
that.
I think I'm
they do
drunk.
not hide it at all.
Whoa.
It wears it on. Wears it on. Its
2 beers in, and I've got a screw loose, guys. Wink.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Brian. I will be sipping on this for the
next year.
a good duration.
The whole year.
Wow.
Honestly, it's really good though. I could have one of these sitting by the fire, and then I'd immediately be asleep.
Oh yeah.
I'd be done.
Yep.
I'd be gone.
It's very good.
That's why we're not having a full one each.
And that's also why I haven't set your apartment on fire, Tom.
Well, there's still time.
Tom doesn't have a fireplace, Dylan. What are you doing?
Yeah, what? Huh? All right, guys, are you ready to discuss
Well, this wasn't a couch you were just ready to throw?
and tell the world what our favorite shit from 2021
Of
is?
fucking course.
I'm ready to lay it all on the line here.
Okay, we have, I believe, 11 categories, and our MIA friend Josh did send us some of his favorite things, and we might read them. We might make him up for him, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
It should be interesting. So let's go ahead and start. Let's start with some easy. How about a favorite TV show from 2021? Who wants to go? Dylan, you look
Cool.
like you're ready to.
I actually am. There's a show I discovered this year that has become my favorite show of all time.
Naruto.
Bob Ross.
Supplanting Frasier.
Oh,
Yes.
Frasier was.
Oh, Frasier was always my
I've never
favorite
seen
show.
an episode of Frasier.
Frasier is so fucking good.
Okay.
But this show is called Joe Pera Talks With You. Have you guys ever heard of this?
No.
It is the most charming, low-key funny thing on the face of the planet. It's about this guy named Joe Pera, who's the actual name of the comedian who plays the character of Joe Pera on the TV show. It's about a guy who lives in northern Michigan, and it's this pseudo-documentary style, but not in that fucking annoying Office Parks
Like
and
Upper
Recreation
Peninsula
way. It's literally he's talking to you as audience members.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's a choir teacher for a middle school, and it's the story of his life and what he wants to talk about, and it's kind of about the minutia of daily life. But there's so many relatable weird things, and him as a character being so awkward is so endearing and charming. This is the show I want to die in the arms of. I'm not even kidding. I bought his
cutting crew.
That is a review.
I received for Christmas his bathroom book, which
Really?
is hold on, the title of which, and you're welcome to read it if you ever poop at my place,
So
or not.
Where do you watch this? Where can I stream it?
Here's the problem. It's on HBO Max. The
Okay.
first 2 seasons. The third season which just came out this year has really it's changed the show, but in this really nice kind of way, because it was kind of like a character study to begin with, and now it's like really developing like plot and intricacies, and you get kind of a wide
Danny
range of
DeVito
this
joined the
cast.
cast.
Oh yeah, here we go.
You know it's going to be good.
It's called his book, which I received as a thing that definitely I want people to read when they're in my bathroom. I don't care how like smelly it gets. A bathroom book for people not pooping or peeing, but using the bathroom as an escape. and it reads just like the television show. Like there's like really nice illustrations, stuff like that. Honestly, please give it up until the episode where he becomes obsessed with the song Baba O'Reilly by The Who.
Okay.
It is...
I can relate.
You will fall in love with this show in a way that you've never fallen in love with something. Maybe it's just me, but every person I've told about this show to watch it has loved it. And I am not even using hyperbole. Not one person has ever gone up to me and been like, Dylan, it was fine.
asshole.
We discovered the other night at the bar that you and I have almost the exact same taste in many things. Frustratingly to Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were agreeing on The Matrix and Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
To a T.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I think Tom might not like what we were saying either, but no, that sounds like a great show.
What are you guys like prequel apologists?
Well, I like the prequels.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And I said that I liked the episode 1 more than 2 and 3.
I like episode 1, yeah.
And Matt was very upset.
I like the pod racing.
Ugh. Okay. All right. Yes.
Dude, Ben
I'm glad it wasn't-
Quadraneros can't even get past the start line. It's really funny.
All right.
He's got 4 pods.
Chesco Tom.
I don't know. I don't think Joe Pera would agree with that. So, all right. Well, that
Joe
sounds
Pera
like,
disagrees with you.
yeah. So that's your favorite.
It's my favorite of all
Do you
time.
have any alternates, runners up?
Probably some fucking dumb anime.
Okay.
Like, I didn't even think about it because this was the first one that came to my mind.
And that's okay. You don't have to have any.
I
It's
don't.
just if you-
I honestly, it was the first thing I thought of,
don't
and I
force
said,
it.
problem solved. I knew for a fact neither of you saw it, which is weird. Eventually, you get like suggestions from your friends, but I never even put out the suggestions. So I guess, I don't know.
Right.
Bad friend territory, who knows?
Oh, no, it's fine. This is why we have this episode.
Well, that's
so we
perfect.
know.
You know, that's good. One out of the chamber. Kablam. Please watch it, everyone. It's honestly, this guy, he deserves more recognition and support.
Cool. I will definitely check it out. I like that HBO Max.
Or Hulu. I really can't differentiate anymore. It's
Okay.
literally just a list on
It's
my
not
television.
Paramount Plus. We know that.
It's not Paramount
No.
Plus. I don't own that.
No, fuck Paramount Plus.
Or Google Minus,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Brad, how about you, man? What's
Now,
your favorite TV show? Have you watched TV?
If you asked me at the beginning of this year if my favorite show would be about small town Catholicism featuring a lot of Neil Diamond music, I would have said you'd be wrong. But Midnight Mass is very easily my favorite show of the year. Mike Flanagan is my favorite horror director working today, one of my favorite directors. He's done Gerald's Game. He did
great.
Haunting of Hill House.
Which was brilliant.
Doctor Sleep, which was surprisingly pretty good. Pretty much everything he's touched usually has a horror flair to it, and they're all really good. And this show spoke to me. I'm from small town Catholic land in South Dakota, and the
Really?
parents
Are they Catholic over there?
we are. It's mixed, but
The heathens are not. Yes.
yeah, but it's relevant in that it reflects like how I grew up and a lot of the situations I was in, and especially the main character who goes away and then comes back and he's disillusioned by Catholicism, and then may or may not have angels, demons, vampires, or something involved, and it just
Did he also get molested?
I don't know if he did. I didn't.
Oh.
It doesn't touch on.
I grew up
watching it.
Catholic.
It doesn't touch on that, but a lot of Neil Diamond music, and I surprisingly jammed to a lot of it.
Okay.
And
What was your favorite?
Neil Diamond's great.
Yeah.
Neil, what's your favorite Neil Diamond jam out of all of them? God. So like the main character is a Neil Diamond fan?
do 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 do. It's like a super slow song. I forget the name of it.
Okay.
It's like a lady's name. I want to say.
Okay.
Let me look it up.
Crackling Rose and get on board.
You are a Neil Diamond person, aren't you?
I mean, no. I'm friends with my buddy Eric.
You're friends
He's a
with Neil Diamond?
Yeah, he's a Neil Diamond impersonator. And,
Oh, wow.
He does a very
Holly
accurate-
Holly Holy.
Oh, Holly Holy.
It's just great. It's a great show. The acting's phenomenal. The writing is excellent.
Cool.
Slow burn. And it made me very happy subjecting my sisters, saying, this show's great. You guys would like it. It's about Catholicism in small towns.
Yep.
And then I know the scene where the vampire thing shows up, and my sisters started texting me, what the fuck are you making me watch?
Nice.
But at that point, I'm like, you're too far in. You can't stop now.
yeah. That was one I always wanted to get to this year, and I probably will at some point.
And I will do one runner-up.
Yeah.
Wellington Paranormal, which I know
That
didn't
one's
come
good.
out this year. It's been around in New Zealand
The
for a
second
while.
season did.
It's already been out for a while in New Zealand.
Well,
it's just
it
coming
counts
to America now.
It does count for us then.
And it's about two paranormal style cops in their day-to-day life. It's kind of like if X-Files was about New Zealand police officers.
Yep.
And always funny.
It's really good.
Every time I rewatch an episode, it's better for different reasons. And you mentioned like that mockumentary thing that doesn't work. This is a way of taking mockumentary and making it fucking work.
Yeah.
And can't highly recommend either of those shows enough.
Awesome. And are those both on Netflix?
Midnight Mass is Netflix. Wellington Paranormal is HBO Max.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. I'll have to check that out. Do any of the members of Flight of the Conchords make cameos?
No, but Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement. Jermaine is, of course, from Conchords, and Taika Waititi is well known.
No Brit?
They both direct episodes. And this is a spinoff of What We Do in the Shadows, the movie that they made.
Oh, right.
These two cops were first featured in the original film. So
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, have not got to that show, but I've heard good things.
I haven't seen much of the show, but the What We Do in the Shadows movie is phenomenal. But the show I've heard is great too.
The show, the third season, I gotta say, a little bit of a stale cracker.
Yeah.
But
Still edible, still a cracker.
still good.
Put some cheese on that.
Yes.
It seems like they kind of used up quite a bit of their ideas in the first two.
Yep.
But I still love those Jackie Daytona, that episode. Watch the Jackie Daytona. You can go in without knowing kind of what's going on and watch that. I would just suggest that.
Hell yeah.
It's really good.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I guess it leaves me. There was one that stood out more than any others for me, and it was kind of like a mini series, I guess, if you want to call it that. But it was the Beatles Get Back off of the Disney Plus, 8-hour, 3-part Peter Jackson directed documentary about the Beatles making the Let It Be album, basically through a very tumultuous portion of their career, kind of like the time that so-called signaled the end. But it was just fucking fascinating to finally see this footage that's been locked away for over 50 years. And Peter Jackson did a great job. It was like you were hanging with the Beatles, basically.
The footage was locked away for like 50 years. How did Peter Jackson get access to it? Do you know? Is it just like he made Lord of the Rings, give it to him?
Yeah, he was doing I was listening to a podcast where he was talking about the project, and he was there doing audio mix down, like at Abbey Road, I think, doing audio mix down for a totally different movie, something that he was producing, I think. And somebody just floated the project, or maybe he just asked about. They do a lot of film restoration. I know Weta, like they do a lot of classic like World War II, like New Zealand stuff.
They did World War I restoration. That I can't remember what it was called.
Boggles the mind though how good it looks.
Oh my god! I'm a huge World War I guy, so like that one fucking blew my mind. So it's a long documentary.
The footage, the shit was filmed on 16 millimeter back in the day. And what they did, like the technology that he was talking about, that they used to not just restore the visuals, but the audio, like using how they used machine learning because they had audio to go along with the visuals. They were practicing in these warehouses, basically, just trying to come up with songs. And so there's a lot of like crosstalk. There's a lot of people jamming on drums while you and I were like, pretend we're having a conversation. Dylan's playing fucking drums, and you hear people.
Oh, I'm the around. Ringo.
You're fuck, baby. You're Ringo.
No, but that
right, George.
The fact that they have
probably not
audio AI technology,
so
that can grab things out and that is insane to me.
So they would learn like Paul's voice, like during a conversation, and the more it listened to Paul's voice, the more it would be able to pick it out and just isolate his track.
That's wild.
Can we get this so when I'm editing Raw Dogs, I only hear me and not Dylan?
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
this technology.
I'd love that too.
This technology is going to be revolutionary because there's all the things you can do, all the shitty recordings that exist. That just everything was recorded on one track. Our podcast say, if once that becomes more available to the masses, we'll be able to make multi-track, recordings off of a single track, or clean up old fucking concert footage and shit and make it sound pristine. Anyways, but back going off on a tangent here. Beatles Get Back, just amazing.
It's worth watching.
It's absolutely worth watching. I want to watch it again, except Peter Jackson already has plans and mapped out he's the king of extended editions. He's like, he's got like
they're adding Frodo and Sam on the side of the volcano to the movie.
well, he said he already has a 15+ hour.
The mouth of Sauron
version.
is there.
Like Ringo. But if you're a Beatles fan or you like music history, this thing is revelatory. Music historians are going to be just fucking jerking off over this for a while because it contradicts a lot of
God, I hope not.
What people thought was the history.
Yeah, and a lot of what the Beatles said was the vibe and the history of this this time.
But this is also an edited thing too, which could be kind of slanting stuff a certain way. Because I know like the band's Last Waltz really makes it look like Robbie Robertson was in charge.
That is true.
Which I fucking love the last.
This is good because
so good,
one of the reasons that this wasn't
Once We Were Brothers.
One of the reasons that this footage was never really released outside of the Let It Be movie, which was just kind of a saccharine, they didn't put any of like the fighting or
it's just the Rolling Stones hugging, not doing the drugs.
It doesn't paint Paul in the best light, and he had many reasons to be kind of an asshole. So that was one of the reasons that they never released
and
this.
That's when he wrote Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time.
No, that's not there. But I'll talk again later in another category about a part of this. Anyways, okay, so that's my favorite.
You know, Tom, it's not as if I didn't know you were a Beatles fan because I think everyone kind of is a Beatles fan unless they're being like, see, this is weird.
Don't be contrarian.
I'm not
can't
doing
say you're not.
I'm not doing it to be contrarian. I'm being
liked them at one point.
I did, and the people I
that's
lived
what I'm
with
talking
in
about.
college listened to it literally every day for hours on end, and I just don't need to hear the Beatles anymore.
No, I understand it. It's how I feel about a lot of specific Led Zeppelin songs.
I'm not saying it's not great music. I'm just I can't hear it anymore.
No, but what I'm saying is like I think everyone kind of recognizes what they were and everything like that. But I didn't really realize. I mean, you got like the Lego set that had like the portraits, and then you also. I guess I just didn't realize you were such a Beatles head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, you can choose one of these three to have the rest of your life. Garth Brooks, Weird Al, or the Beatles.
Oh, my God. I'm going to be like Josh. Nope, can't do it.
Not doing it.
Can't do it.
You can't make me do it.
Nope. Oh, boy, that's tough. Maybe that's another episode.
Okay.
But...
We could have an episode
I
where
would be able to pin it down to one.
Are you sure?
I wouldn't be a pussy.
I might go with Weird Al. Oh, Beatles. I don't know. Stuff.
I would go with Beatles. I mean, I don't really listen to parody songs.
Would they ever, none of them, you pick one and the other two never existed?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll think about that. Okay. But we don't have enough time. And my runners up, I'll just, Succession, season 3, the new episode, or the new season of that, and The White Lotus and WandaVision, ringing up the bottom. All right, man. Okay, that went on. All right, next category: favorite movie of 2021. Dylan, do you want to go for this one?
Yeah,
go for Dylan.
This one was tough, and I am not a huge movie person. I love movies.
It's Black Widow, isn't it?
No.
Just kidding. This will get into one of my picks later.
It's definitely not the Eternals. I saw a bootleg version of that. I saw a Russian filmed version of it in a theater. Like, yeah. I was like, this is the only way I have to see this, and I can kind of pay attention because I'm like, the Eternals, Kingo, whatever. I read comic books. I just
Kumail Nanjiani.
I love Kumail. Never get me wrong, and he's a giant hunk of like Pakistani steel now.
Right.
He is from Pakistan.
No, I just Pakistani steel.
It's actually that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what? I cannot stop thinking about the Matrix Resurrections.
Yes. Wait, that's your favorite?
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about it.
Oh, please.
I'm fond of it as well.
I can elaborate, and it's not because I think it's good.
That's true.
It's because it is the most fascinating piece of genuine filmmaking that is also entirely metatextual and unnecessary to a point where it talks about the movie industry itself in a way that
Warner Brothers is going to make another sequel. So.
Well, they can't now for another like 15 years. That's literally like the optioning rights.
That that's one of the
that's also not the reason this was made.
No, that's one of the reasons.
It was, but it was also, I don't believe this movie is such a chimera of cynicism and lack of cynicism that the tone is all over the fucking place. And the story, I can explain it because I'm an autistic weirdo, but I don't think that the average person can explain what happened in that fucking movie.
Agreed.
I know I fell asleep a couple times, and that did not do me any favors.
I wasn't like riveted by this movie in a lot of ways, but then sometimes a character would say something and I'm like, wait, what? And I'd be like,
who's the Oracle?
Thinking about this for a second, and then this, and then blah, blah, blah. The storyline is fine, and I see the Matrix Resurrections as this like Kali Yuga style, like cyclical, like obviously they talk about it in the second one, how there have been so many Matrices before. Neo is supposed to do a certain thing, blah, blah, blah. And this one is literally just about like, oh, fuck. I just want to bring these characters back from the dead. And it's almost to a point where
it's so self-aware and it's so critiquing itself as it says something, and then it makes a joke about how stupid it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Matt was describing it as a scorched earth policy where they're trying to just they're driving.
There are things going on here, and I don't think it's scorched earth. I do think it was protective.
I think a lot of the things were done in response to what Warner Brothers wanted and what was expected of them, and
that's good art.
They say like we need the best action ever, and it has the worst action I've ever seen, and at least a Matrix.
And we need to play footage from all the movie, like all the footage from the movies.
Smith
just
is
to
bad.
Remind you,
this is
yes.
I'm also fond of it in that like this is bafflingly bad and incredibly interesting.
Well, the reason I
you like what you like, man. It's
no,
cool.
it's my favorite because I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah,
there's so much, we get inundated with so much shit that sometimes my brain can't like keep hold of it.
Yeah.
Like my mind will immediately be like, I played so many games. And I don't even have that much time to play games anymore, but I still played a lot of games, and I had to remember. I'm like, which ones did I like again? Oh, maybe it's just because I'm like 31 years old and it's just going to get worse. Or I could just say like what actually impacted me. Like, and that's how I'm going to choose my favorite anything going forward, because I can't remember watching another movie this year. I literally cannot.
It was rough thinking about what actual movies that came out in 2021 that I watched this year.
I mean,
like, I did not.
I looked up a list and I went like, because I'm like, I watched a lot of things later because I am not a theater goer, and I was just like, who gives a fuck?
Yep.
But then I remembered, this came out or this came out, and I'm like, well, if I didn't remember it, was it even that good? Like, I'm very picky about movies. I think either they're kind of like weird. They've either got to be weird masterpieces or total shit.
I don't like anything in the middle either. You either have to be an incredibly great, competent film, or this is interesting because it's not competent.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'll give anything a shot once, really. But the fact, I think memory is very important to a lot of these things, because if art doesn't impact you enough to stick around, then it's kind of,
it's true.
It's shallow and kind of transient.
But I understand where you're coming from, because if this podcast was made in 2003, I would put The Room as probably my favorite movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
right.
Was The Room 2003?
I believe so.
Wow.
3 or 4. Yeah.
It's crazy.
We
saw as an age today.
Yeah. All right.
I say give it a second shot. And honestly, just fucking, I mean, I was 6 beers deep by the end of that movie.
So was everybody in the movie.
Now that you've seen it once, see it again without any expectations, I think it'll be a different
pull away from it and kind of look at it as like, what I saw was a moving film about someone as a creator, because if you look at like anything the Wachowskis have done, which have turned out to be like kind of failures. I love Speed Racer. I really like Jupiter Ascending.
Oh no.
I really like Jupiter Ascending.
I don't know
how dumb it is. I'm not a huge Cloud Atlas guy.
I love Bound though.
Bound is great. Well,
Really
I mean,
good.
that's their first one though. But and I love Speed Racer. I will go to bat for Speed Racer any day of the week. I think it's ahead of its time. Watch it again. But I think that it's from a person who's so self-aware of who they are now, and especially like with Lana Wachowski's gender transformation.
Yep.
I think it's really weird for her to come back to these topics with almost like a hyper sense of clarity. Like it's after Neo sacrifices himself. Now, like, here's the return of Christ. It's that whole idea. So
Right.
I really liked it. Yeah.
All right. Any runners up?
I literally can't remember.
All right. Brad, let's go back to you.
My favorite film of the year is going to be on the side of a very well-made film that achieved its goals. And Last Night in Soho.
I really want to see that.
Yeah.
I am a huge Edgar Wright fan. I don't think there's a lot of directors today that have such a mastery of filmmaking technique, telling a story through the camera rather than through Will Ferrell doing a monologue or improv. What's so great is the scripts are so tight, the music is so integral, and you can tell every frame has a lot of thought. Every performance was aiming for something, and there were many times throughout the movie where I didn't know what was going to happen, and it's so good to see films where you haven't seen a trailer that just gives away the plot.
It's good, yeah.
Because I had no idea. I'm like, I know these actresses, and I think there's some time aspect where there's like maybe ghosts or time travel. I don't know how it all works. And beautiful cinema, beautiful acting, and stunning soundtrack, which I found Carly like singing to herself in the kitchen, which is a breakthrough because Carly generally doesn't like a lot of music like that, but she's been singing Downtown like it's going out of style. And I'm like, Carly, that's great.
Yeah.
Carly.
That comes out on DVD on the 18th of January. So I'm looking forward to checking it out.
I'll be watching it if I can rent it.
Yeah. Edgar Wright's a great filmmaker.
Yeah,
sure.
I love Baby Driver.
Baby Driver's awesome.
Yeah. I think a lot of people hate on that movie because of Ansel Elgort, and I kind of agree. He has a dumb looking face. He's got like
the
Channing
Kevin
Tatum
Spacey?
face. Well, that too, but
Kevin Spacey of it all.
whatever.
As far as Jamie Foxx, Kevin Spacey, John Hamm films, Baby Driver's the best.
That's right, Jamie Foxx. Forget about that. John Hamm he's all tatted up.
Yeah,
he's played against
interesting.
type, for sure.
Runner up, I'm going to put Green Knight in there. Green Knight was phenomenal.
That was this year?
Maybe it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It was December of last year.
All right, then Spider-Man Far From Home it is.
Because Green Knight would have been mine too,
Yeah.
Brad.
Okay.
I haven't watched it yet.
Hold on.
I think it was this year.
No, Green Knight
Early
couldn't
this
have
year?
been. It was Christmas of last year. It's a Christmas movie.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Tom?
All right. Yes. I'm going to kind of do what I did.
No. It's fucking 2021. Can I change my answer?
I'm sorry, it's already on the
It's
record.
we already recorded it, Dylan.
It's
Your runner-up is the Matrix Resurrections.
just watch it. That movie made me cry. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I got it during a sale, so it's.
Oh no shit! It is a movie you really got to sit and pay attention to.
For me, this was really tough because, man, I haven't been watching any outside of. I watched Ghostbusters. Nobody. If I had to pick a movie from this year, that would probably be it. But that's only because I haven't
saw
seen
it.
a lot.
Oh.
I thought Free Guy. I don't know if you saw that movie, the Ryan Reynolds movie.
Didn't see it. But I know it's about video games.
Yeah, that was way better than I thought it was going to be.
It's got Taika.
And Jamie Comer and Tyga. It had some good video game references. So I guess I would have to say Nobody. It's just kind of like Bob Odenkirk as John Wick by the people that did John Wick. Christopher Lloyd steals the show.
Yes, he does. At first, I thought he was only going to be in the first part, and he comes back later. Like, thank God.
Oh man, it was so cool to see him. But I'm gonna go with the best movie that I seen this year. I went on a Hitchcock binge, and I'm gonna go with Rear Window. Not sure if you guys saw that. Ever seen that?
Tom, that didn't come out.
Oh, yeah,
this
that's
year.
that great Johnny Depp film, right?
Yes. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve was in the remake.
Tom, that didn't come out this year.
Right.
Or-
Yep. I know. I'm telling you, this is the best movie I saw this year.
Oh.
Rear Window. It came out in
I didn't know we could
1954.
just do that.
We can't. Tom can.
Yep.
This is the Dogcast.
Fine, whatever.
Grace Kelly is easy on the eyes. I'm just going to say that.
Wow, really? Famous.
More than Alfred
beautiful
Hitchcock.
actors.
Yeah.
Dude, I just want to put my wiener in between his
Great
jelly
movie,
rolls.
guys. Check it out.
That's like when we'll need the audio separating Dylan.
Don't do that again. Just kidding. All right.
I'll do what I want.
Let's move. Moving on. Favorite beer of 2021.
No super strong feelings for me. If anything, I've gravitated away from hipster styles. I've kind of been oversaturated with all the good stuff, and I just want light beers. Fishing for Fishies is a classic style Pilsner, and that's all I've been wanting to drink lately. If not that, something else along those lines.
Yeah. Kind of did that earlier in the year as well. I went through a phase where I just wanted to get back to basic German beer, and I'm like, I can't, I want to appreciate the bougie beer a little bit more, but I can't if I'm just constantly drinking it all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Light beer is good beer too.
Okay. So Fishing for Fishies.
Fishing for
is your
Fishies.
Eagle Park. This is podcast
It's a
is
very
sponsored
good beer.
by-
As far as beers I get to drink for mostly free, and
it's good.
Yeah, I don't spend a lot of money on other beers when I drink mostly for free.
Absolutely.
So you can understand the situation there.
Kind of puts you right in there.
I'm going to go with a recent one. I don't know if this is recency bias, but indeed, their mixed nut cream ale
It's very good.
is,
Oh, it is good.
very good.
Yeah.
As a fan of their pistachio cream ale, you get those extra nut flavors in there, and it elevates it even more. And
Made me nut.
you made it all over it.
Oh, fuck.
So yeah, the Indeed mixed nut cream ale. If you're able to get your hands on some or know somebody who lives in Minneapolis or Wisconsin, or maybe I don't know if they distribute nationally or regionally.
They do with some beers. I don't know if that one's a new hotness, so that one might not be out there yet. But if you have a chance, definitely try it.
Very good. My runner-up is Oscar Blues Death by Flapjacks. It's basically an ale that tastes like a fucking pancake, and
I've had that one. It's good.
It was good. It was the one that I sought out the most when I was at the Total Wine or the discount liquor. So, Dylan, how about you? Do you have a favorite beer?
I had a dream about a month ago that I was drinking a beer now long since perished, and I'm actually going to give it to that because just
Ice?
the memory.
Not long since perished?
Is it cool?
It's Cool Ice.
Cool Ice.
Oh, God. That was your answer last year, I think.
This is answer every year.
And it would
I
be.
think about that beer constantly. I want to do a joke shirt where it's, like they have Wakanda Forever, and it's just Chadwick Boseman doing like the crossed arm thing. I want it to be Chadwick Boseman doing the crossed arm
Holding
thing.
two Cool Ice.
And then it just says Cool Ice Forever.
That wouldn't offend anybody.
Okay.
But I'm serious. Cool Ice. Fuck, man. Cool Ice. It should have existed for eternity. And
in some parallel
fuck
universe,
these companies
it
who
does.
took it away from. Oh my God.
Can you
Can I
imagine
go there where things happen differently?
What if you become an astrophysicist just so you can try to find a wormhole to the universe where Cool Ice exists?
I can't imagine not fucking that up. I'm not that
I
intelligent.
think I do have a list of Josh's favorites here, since he is kind of the guy. Beer is his wheelhouse more so than anything else. I think we should share what his favorite beer of the year was.
I'm glad we skipped over the Cobra Kai discussion, though.
I would have nothing to say.
Josh's favorite beer is from Cerebral Brewing, Mysterious Forces BA Stout. Shout out to the hazy IPAs at. Oh wait, okay. So
Badass stout, huh?
Badass Stout. Is that what it stands for? Probably.
Definitely not barrel aged.
Barrel aged? No.
No.
So yeah, Mysterious Forces Barrel Aged
fool me.
Stout, and then he also said shout out to the hazy IPAs at Outer Range Brewing in Frisco, Colorado.
Josh drinks a lot. He's down
Well,
in
he has
Florida
to.
right now.
That's all they're
just drinking. Company
fucking-
trip. Oh, I'm not
he
saying it's
fucking
bad.
has to.
No, he's
I'm
not.
not saying it's bad.
No,
I'm
it's
just saying
great.
that dude drinks a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
If anything, I'm
They
saying
did
that it's like
They did a work field trip.
But he looks like
Everybody-
a fucking statue. Not bronze because he's pale as a ghost. but
If ghosts were made out of steel.
There you go.
Let's go next to category number 4, the biggest disappointment of 2021. I'll leave this, whoever wants to go first.
I just did a broad category. I just put humanity. I was disappointed across the board in mainstream media, the lack of understanding, the lack of treating people like people.
Yeah.
Corporations have been terrible. The labor shortages, not due to people not wanting to work, but to people feeling exploited and taken advantage of.
Wanting things to be fair, yeah.
Across the board, all of humanity disappointed me in 2021.
Wow.
That's not bad, and it kind of lands in line with mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
No, I don't know what you're going to say.
No, I'm actually gonna say I think my biggest disappointment was really finding out that I'm not like the independent person I thought I was. And it's a very startling revelation. You get used to things, you become different, and you're just like, oh shit, well, that's why I have good friends. That's why I have
good
people
support
around
system.
me. Well, and it's also just like, it's important to know what your weaknesses are, but at the same time, it's not fucking fun. And to learn, I used to be fiercely independent, but then you look back on it and you're just like, no, there's always been something from behind.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one person in the world that's a self-made man. I don't think that happens. I just don't think that occurs, because something has to influence and create you no matter what.
Yeah.
But I mean, humanity, that's a part of it too then. It's also realizing that, like, I wish people would kind of just fucking stop making everything about a thing and just kind of go like, oh, well, I don't care who the president is as long as they don't fucking suck that bad, and I shouldn't worship them.
And honestly, I'm going to change mine to Marvel's What If. That show really disappointed me.
That show looks dumb, and I don't want to watch it because of the animation.
Watch
That was the worst thing that Marvel has put out since Thor 2.
Wow.
A lot of people like it.
They don't understand animation then.
Okay. Is it poorly animated?
It looks like shit.
Okay.
It's that half CG animation that they try to make look,
But it looks
drawn.
lazy.
It's
Like
fucking
old
lazy.
Voltron
Are you fucking
animation.
Compared to Star Wars Visions, which is a goddamn beautiful piece of art.
Oh, you
Yeah.
showed me one episode of that, and I'm just like, when did this come out, and why is nobody talking about it? So,
Right.
Because you don't let people talk about Star Wars. You say,
Okay, well,
I would never talk about Star Wars.
my biggest disappointment of 2021. We are a video game podcast, or so I've heard tell. I'm gonna go with 12 minutes. The loop-based game that came out on
Loop games.
on Xbox Game Pass and PC in August.
Sure.
I was really looking forward to that game, and it just shit the bed for me, man. Like, just
I hear it's
just very
fucking
tedious.
abysmal.
Very tedious. Did some story beats that were like, what? What? I'm playing it for this?
Don't you have to like drug your wife or something?
Yeah, I think you can murder her to advance the story, or to get what you need to advance the story. But yeah, you have to at least drug your wife
You must at least drug your wife.
this is a Ben Roethlisberger game?
This is
Bill
a
Cosby Simulator.
It's a memoir by Tom.
Sorry, a soon-to-be memoir. No, just kidding. No, it's horrible.
You got to try it once.
I've heard a lot of the concepts are good in that game, but the way a lot of it is delivered.
The presentation looks great. I mean, yeah, this was revealed like at an E3 like a couple years ago, and I mean, it had some buzz on it because, shit, it looked really good. You had Willem Dafoe, Daisy Ridley, McAvoy.
Yeah.
As the
James McAvoy?
Yeah,
It's like Daisy Ridley McAvoy? They got married?
and they had a baby. They had sex in the game.
But then you realize just because there's good names doesn't make good games.
It's true. So that was probably my biggest disappointment. But to kind of echo you guys, I was going to be like humanity, but I think that was mine last year. So I'm going to say chip shortages. God damn it, Brad, we got a beer.
Let's cheer ourselves up here. This is another beer Brian sent over to us. This is from Surly Brewing in the Twin Cities. This is 15 This is a blended barrel-aged Grand Cru Ale. I know some of those words. I know if Josh was here, he'd say what a Cru Ale is. He'd say, "Oh, it's just kind of beer, and it's got some Ghostbusters and turtles in there." Be honest, a Cobra Kai. Pretty good beer.
Yep, that's exactly right.
But yeah,
are you here?
I think this is an offshoot from Surly Darkness, but I don't know how. I think it's like maybe a different side of the Darkness series, because this definitely doesn't look as dark.
I believe in
It's not dark at all.
But this is 15 from Surly Brewing. Thank you, Brian.
All right,
Cheers, brothers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Kind of more malty, caramely.
Yeah,
I like that.
There are
That's an interesting
fruity,
taste.
There are fruity hints.
I
really like that back end fruit.
It's almost like a
You can
a
feel
light
it in
Belgian,
your nostrils.
almost.
This is actually really good. Like I can feel it in my nostrils. Like if I'm getting like the berry kind of like,
like
that's
fragrant
good.
mustard
with a bit of like cinnamon. I'm getting
sure.
like cinnamon. Yeah.
cacao nibs.
Cacao.
Cacao nibs.
That's the correct pronunciation.
All right.
It's time to tap in with the HyperX Quadcast S microphone. The stunning HyperX Quadcast S features dynamic, customizable RGB lighting, a convenient tap-to-mute sensor, and 4 selectable polar patterns, so it can broadcast crystal clear audio whether you're gaming, streaming, podcasting, or impressing your remote colleagues and classmates. So what are you waiting for? Join the Quad Squad and tap in today with the HyperX Quadcast S microphone.
Now, moving from the biggest disappointment, let's go with the biggest surprise for each of you guys in the year of our Dylan 2021.
The year of our Dylan. The year of our Tex.
Yes.
I honestly thought about this for the past 3 days, and I couldn't come up with anything. I'm like, what was I surprised by?
That you couldn't think of anything.
I don't get surprised often because I create situations in which I don't have to be surprised.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have
I
to
don't
be
like being surprised.
Like it'd be like, oh, this is something better than I thought it was.
I didn't know this was going to happen.
Like this is what a nice surprise.
Biggest surprise.
Metroid Dread.
Like Betty White died. I was so happy.
I mean, that's game. Betty White dying. What a surprise. She was so young. Wasn't bound to fucking happen.
Thought she had at least another 100 years in her.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 100 more years. Biggest surprise.
Well, we can go back to you.
Yeah, go
All right.
for it.
Bradley.
My biggest surprise was getting COVID.
Surprise!
I honestly thought that
How many times?
This is the only time I've ever had it. I honestly thought I was going to be like Neo in Matrix Resurrections, just dodging bullets, or
Like you have this
or dodging
super chromosomes that like I will not get sick.
I just haven't gotten it before, and I've been like all the vaxes, and I've been cognizant about not doing super dumb things. I'll go to see shows or I'll go places, but I was surprised to get it.
I have COVID right now, guys. Forgot to mention.
Okay.
Sorry. Just
Awesome.
rapid.
I'm trying to like get it so I don't get it in the future, like chicken pox.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been drinking the beer you've been spitting back in the glass tongue.
So, Brad, you had COVID. You lost your smell, taste, right?
I had to miss a Vikings-Packers game I was going to with my dad, which that was a major disappointment because him and I don't get a lot of opportunities to go do things together.
Yeah.
And that was going to be like, he's a Vikings fan, I'm a Packers fan. That would have been fun. So that was a bummer. I did play a fuck ton of Yakuza games during that, though. So
Yeah. Well, it turned out well in that way.
that turned out okay, but that was definitely a surprise. I, for some reason, just didn't think it was going to happen to me. It was bad for a couple days. Then I lost smell and taste, which is very weird. Very weird.
Very weird. Yeah.
Drinking cups of coffee they just hot water. That's all you get.
Yep.
Is so disheartening. It's the worst start to your day when you just want to like have your coffee, have your moment, and just like wake up, and then it's not there. And
Did the spice help my suggestion?
I don't remember. Are you talking about Dune?
No. That could have been one of my movies of this year. Thinking to it, but
Would have qualified.
Nothing tasted or smelled right for a while. It's almost 100%
spicy food.
I'd say it's 100% back now, but
That's
Yeah.
good. Frankly,
worst part for me.
it took me months to get it back. And when I got it, everything tasted rotten or like bacteria. Like I could taste the minuscule bacteria in it. Like,
Were you
as if,
eating
like,
the food you didn't eat for a few months? It's possible it was rotten bacteria.
No, well, December of last year when I was like peak like shit Dylan, like yeah, of course it's possible, but at the same time, like I would have a beer and I'd just be like, ugh, God,
shit Dylan.
That's when I switched to hard liquor and I was like, well, at least whiskey still
Might as well,
tastes
yeah.
like whiskey.
It always tasted like shit.
Yeah, still burns right.
I needed the burn.
Yeah.
I thought I
Well,
was killing the bacteria.
How about you, Tom?
That is a surprise, but I'm glad you recovered.
Yeah.
So
Got those
now everybody's
antibodies.
getting it. So it's just ravaging people like the Army of the Dead and Return of the King.
I have a bad feeling I'm going to get it again sooner than later
Yeah,
with how things
I
are
know,
going.
I think I had it
I'm gonna
at Christmas
fucking get
time.
You think you did?
I think I did. It came
possible.
back negative. I did a rapid, but I might have did it too early. But it was, I had a shit.
Were they raving?
What's that?
Were they raving rabbits?
Yes.
I had a rabbit test.
Rabbit test. My biggest surprise, a man approaching my mid 40s.
I thought you said a man did something.
A man approached me.
Man, let me show you on the teddy bear.
And now we're in love.
Yes.
Here's the ring.
Surprise.
It started on Bumble BFF and it just turned into something.
Bumble BFF. Is that a thing?
Yeah, that exists.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm talking about me, a man in my almost mid 40s. Okay, dangerously close. Putting together my
Which means you are.
fuck off. Putting together my first Lego set ever.
Good job.
And then realizing I fucking
fun.
love Legos.
Legos
Of course
are
you
great.
Oh my God.
You know, like
That's why you open your boxes.
yeah, I will open Lego boxes. I mean, I put together my little Lego Christmas tree.
Wow, what a revelation.
But I guess I just didn't realize how well I would take to it and how much it like just was a lot of fun and calming and just
It's zen, right?
It's like my meditation almost.
It feels so good. I used to do it. I used to get a ton of Star Wars sets way back in the day just because I was so stressed out with my life that I'd be like, I don't really want this one, but I got the Mos Eisley set for $60. And then I put it together and I'm just like, oh yeah,
There's
there's Luke.
come to a realization. The Lego sets say for ages like 4 to 99. Maybe Betty White just didn't want to not be able to play with Legos anymore.
So she offed herself.
I'm just saying, maybe she allowed it to happen. She said, death, I'll go this time.
It could
She
be.
said, listen, God, I made hot in Cleveland. Now let me in. Oh, St. Peter. I mean, St. Peter.
So yeah, biggest surprise to me is how much I like Legos. Dylan,
yeah. Now
coming
I know.
back to you.
Yeah,
wrap it
yeah.
up.
Biggest surprise. Have you guys ever expressed a cat's bladder?
What's the next topic?
No.
I know Goblin wasn't doing well.
Goblin was not doing well. Early, like mid fall, I believe. It's something around that. And I was panicking. He's my best pal, my great companion, my little dude who kind of keeps me on track. I do need something to take care of to keep me on track sometimes. Otherwise, I'm just like, I can live in slop. I'm a slop monster. But, or if a girl's coming over. But,
I'm a slop.
I need a slop.
so
I want that on a shirt. I'm a slop.
male cats develop crystals in their urine. Long story short, I had to have him like intubated and like got those crystals out.
Little kitty catheter.
And now he's on like a special diet.
That sounded too cute for what it is, Tom.
Well, so it started happening again about a month later, and I went, no, dude. I look at him and I'm just like, you can't just like dribble your pee all over my fucking house. And I'm just like, okay, here's what we're going to do. I learned about expressing a cat's bladder, which is literally just, you reach under the rib cage, you find where the bladder is. It feels kind of weird. Then you press on it and stuff comes out. So we went into the bathroom and I took him into the
read your John
bathtub.
Para book.
Lit some candles.
And I'm sitting there in my boxers and I'm just like, I'm just like, okay, time to do it. And he's just looking at me like crying, like meow,
Stop
meow.
looking at me. I got
just
stage
go like
fright.
this, and then like the sound that came out of his little fucking mouth, like that, wow, and then just like blood
Oh my God.
all over the bathtub.
And now he died.
no.
He just exploded.
I got the thing out, and it turns out, yeah. and I got all over like my feet, and I was like, surprise.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But the cat's good?
Oh, he's great now. His medication is working.
He learned to just
gangbusters.
do what he had to do to pee. Otherwise, Dylan will come at him with the boxers and say, "We're expressing your bladder today, buddy."
Well, now he pees way better than he's ever fucking pissed in his life, but he's got to eat special formula shit, which costs, literally have to have a prescription. So it costs, for like a 17-pound bag, it cost me about $120.
Holy shit.
Small
Okay.
price to pay for a little buddy.
Yep.
He's my best pal. It's going to happen no matter what.
Well, I'm glad the cat's all right. And you know what?
Also, cats don't eat that much, so it's fine.
Do you know what's also right, guys?
I don't know.
Kids?
The HyperX Podcast Network.
Oh, it's great.
Yes. So please stay tuned. We're going to break right now, and you're going to hear.
Let's hear from some of the other amazing shows from the HyperX Podcast Network.
Absolutely.
Which we love, and we're happy to be a part of.
HyperX, put it in your ear.
Yes. All right, we'll be right back.
So neat.
We'll be right back with favorite anything. Of
Put your mouth
2021.
on it. Because they do
How's the mouth feel?
because HyperX is a microphone, so it's like HyperX, put your mouth on it.
Describe the notes.
See you in a bit.
Previously on Chat of the Wild.
But what we have to do is there are these seeds in these little holes that we have to put specific water on to make them grow up, and we get the Mario sound effect for the vines going up.
Yes.
Like it's what exactly is the sound effect for Mario that they use?
Can you guys just do that simultaneously again? Thanks.
Chat of the Wild. Breaking down Zelda and Zelda-like games, one dungeon at a time. Wednesdays on the HyperX Podcast Network.
Like I said, we are back. Welcome to our Best of 2021 podcast. We just finished up with favorite or biggest surprise of 2021. And I just wanted to share Josh's. He said his biggest surprise of 2021 is The Last Ronin, which is a comic book. I think it's a turtle comic book.
Yeah.
It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic book where at first you realize it's like a post-apocalyptic world where there's one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle who's not really a teen anymore, I guess. And
like
he's
Logan.
wandering the wastelands and
Middle-aged mutant ninja turtles.
But which turtle
my
is
fucking
he?
back hurts.
Because they all look identical.
Because it's Raphael or Leonardo, the only ones that could be Ronins.
I think you'll be surprised.
It's April.
It's
I know
April O'Neil.
God damn it. All right.
I'm a turtle
It's
now.
April and Mikey's son.
All right, we are at category 6 out of 11, everybody. We are, and this is favorite anything of 2021. I'll go ahead and start this one off. My favorite anything was doing a Sopranos rewatch and going through the entire season along with this podcast called Talking Sopranos, which is hosted by a couple of the guys who are on the show. Just a real good time, and I was hesitant to revisit The Sopranos because, you know, that's kind of like considered the big bang of prestige TV, and there's been so much really good TV that has come since then that I was kind of afraid to like go back and revisit it and like, oh, it's not going to hold up. Nope. Turns out it is still fucking great. It holds up, and it is still like the best, if not the best TV show of all time. Certainly one of the best TV shows.
I need to watch it.
Everyone is. I think most of quarantine watched it this year, according to like the streaming numbers. But totally, if you haven't seen it,
That'd be
Now,
fun.
I've only seen The Many Saints of Newark. I'm not even kidding.
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I only saw Young Sheldon. I think it's about him when he was younger.
I mean, Many Saints is okay, but
I hear it's bad.
it's not. If
I
you-
liked it fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
It revealed a plot point because literally there's like a weird flashback thing.
yes. It.
Or a flash forward
I mean,
thing.
it's
Apparently a dead guy talks. It's fine.
it's meant to watch after you watch the season because so many callbacks.
Okay, so
anyways,
should I blog this? Should I make this like a thing? Because I once listened to a podcast where they said, imagine watching The Many Saints of Newark before you watch The Sopranos, and I'm like, ooh, me.
yeah, you should. Yes.
Maybe I should blog it. I should be like, oh,
Yeah.
Tony,
And runner up was the band I'm in. We played. We were asked to play our statewide like music awards.
Oh, that's
To be
great.
the house band, and that was just a stressful motherfucking time getting ready for that thing. But
You had to learn a lot of different like genres or like kinds of music,
we
right?
learned 30-second snippets of over like 100 songs.
That's intense.
What the fuck? Really?
Yeah, and I mean, some of them were songs that we played before. You just like single out like, oh, this is because we were playing. You know, when it's
My
things
milkshake
like,
brings all the boys to the yard, and
Yeah.
back to you, Ted.
exactly. So if somebody's walking to the podium to present, you know, you're playing just a quick snippet of a song.
Oh, that fucking blows.
And then as somebody's coming up to accept the award, you play another snippet of a song. So I was kind of like the spearheading that. So it was like at the same time we were doing like Midwest Gaming Classic planning. So
fuck.
I was a ball of stress around that time, but it went off fairly well, and it was very fulfilling. So
Oh, that's awesome, Tom.
yeah, that was one of my favorite anything. So you guys,
I'll use that transition. My favorite anything was Midwest Gaming Classic.
wow,
So good to be back
Fun.
at a convention. So great to host our own stage, seeing Dom up on there with the Batsu, with Christopher Sean and Dylan Postal, Hornswoggle himself.
Yeah.
It was so good to see all the Mortal Kombat people again. It was so great talking with Jeremy Parrish while he was there. It was great talking with him on stage. It was just fun. It was good to be at a convention, and it was Dylan's first time there, which was doubly exciting for me.
I had such a good time. I can't describe also what it meant to me just to like kind of get, like, cause you know, like I'm fairly insular. So it's really nice to kind of just like really see that what this community is and to really understand. And I think I said it on the podcast for that, just how there's not a bad grape in that bunch. You hear a lot of shit about like nerd culture and how toxic it is, but everyone I talked to was so flippin' nice. I was in just a place where I could be myself, and it was just, I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and play this pinball machine and fuck off for the next 30 minutes until another panel.
right? I mean, you become friends with people that complete strangers. For the duration of a weekend, like good friends, you know, like
Stadium Frank,
or even
Stadium
like
Frank's great.
Quan from Arcade
Quan,
Works,
yeah,
just came over. All of a sudden, we're going out to meals, and we're best buddies.
Doc's
The dude,
Smokehouse, real good.
dude just sent me like a new update for my Neo Geo.
Oh, excellent.
So, but no, that's a great one. That was a fun time having the stage there too.
Oh man, I need to remember that my other buddy's name.
Chris, wasn't it Chris with a K?
Yes, and Chris was so great. Love him.
Chris is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. Game Dad show.
Yeah, it was just great going to Up Down with Riggs and watching my coworkers who don't know about video games talk with John Riggs about video games.
Yes.
I was like, ooh, this is not something that I ever thought would happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you'll have the opportunity to do it in April too. It's coming up again.
Yes, we will.
Whoa. Dylan.
I would probably say Micron pens.
Micron pens?
Yeah.
What's a Micron pen?
Here, I'll show you.
Show and tell. Here we go.
All right. Dylan carries his coffin around. He's opening it up. That is a
Sound
bunch
of it
of
opening.
dust that just popped out of the coffin.
Let me be.
So Micron pen,
A hand
They
is
are
giving
specific-
the pen to him.
they are a specific archival ink brand of pen that a lot of mangakas use.
Okay.
Also,
What is archival ink?
archival ink is a ink that has not a lot of acid in it. That's not going to break down the paper that you put it on. So it's an ink that is going to last a lot longer. So
in archives.
yeah, exactly. So when you get like a Bic or something, that ink is highly acidic.
Yes, I just wrote the word hi, and it felt great.
I've been drawing a lot this year, and to be honest with you, it has saved my sanity in a lot of ways. And Micron, I'm always pimping myself out to them. So if you want to sponsor the show,
Do you tag Micron in everything you post?
I do tag Micron every once in a while when I'm really impressed with, like, if I take one of the pens and there's like a line I make and I'll just be like, Jesus Christ, like these things feel like
effortless.
gold. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like driving a nice car. You kind of know it when you do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to say Microns because I've used them so much, and
That's awesome, man.
I'm actually like quite thankful for them. So yeah, Micron.
Micron pens. Josh, we got to read Josh's here. I don't think this will surprise anybody who knows him.
Ghostbusters.
His
Dan Aykroyd.
favorite anything? Milwaukee Bucks win the motherfucking NBA championship.
That's cool, too.
What an experience.
I forgot that happened this year.
I know, right?
Yeah.
God, what a dream.
He was at all the home games.
Everyone forgot COVID existed for 2 weeks.
Not wrong. All right. Moving on, guys. This one,
Another category.
another category. This is more of a personal one.
Lay it on me.
A positive personal development of 2021.
Development.
I guess I'll go first.
Sure.
I mean, relating to the Micron, it's my art production is like skyrocketing, like physical art production. I used to do the thumbnails for the podcast, and it's really hard to do if I did that by hand. It would just take me an exorbitant amount of time. I don't really have a PC for it right now. I'm actually saving up some money for a PlayStation 5 and a nice PC, like maybe like a $1,500 one.
Like a Dell laptop.
I'm more concerned with the
Like a
graphic
Chromebook.
fidelity. Yeah, of course. A Chromebook, yeah, of course. And
Cool.
I mean, I'll always get back to that, but man, just deciding to start a sketchbook. I said, I'm going to finish this sketchbook, and by the end of this sketchbook, I'll have maybe reached some sort of like apotheosis, some grand idea. And I'm about 2/3 of the way through. I started basically when I started this job as a way of like relieving stress. And I've produced a lot of shit. I've drawn a lot. Actually, this would probably be the best segue to give you guys your gift.
Oh, shit.
I
Gifts?
have.
What is...
I think Josh will have stuff.
I
think we should wait.
want to give it now.
I think we should wait.
I think that's silly.
No, we should wait.
Because
I
I've
don't
got
have a horse
it
in this race, so you guys have to duke it out.
I'll give. If you want to save yours, you can. One's for Carly, though.
Let's just save them all.
Would you like the one for Carly?
No, let's just save it all until Josh is here.
This sucks.
No, 'cause I think it'll
I
be
wanted
better.
to give
You're
it, I was
such
so
a fucking
excited.
party pooper, Ward. God damn it.
What's in this one?
I like presents.
Tom, you split the vote here. What do you think?
It would be cool to have everybody.
I will give you one then, Tom,
Okay.
and it's the comic.
This is fucking fantastic.
I'll put these by
Thanks,
the Christmas
man.
tree.
Then there, now I'm satiated.
I'll put a photo up on the Instagram of this, but yeah, Dylan made a nice 4-panel comic strip about our relationship, our dynamic here at the Dogcast. It's so good.
Put it on the fridge, baby.
Thanks, man. I don't spill on it because I will do that.
It'll be nice when Josh is here.
That's true. I agree.
Yeah. Brad.
He's a businessman.
Positive personal development. I'm super
PPD.
happy. I'm super happy that I got a second job editing YouTube videos, and it's with some content creators and friends of mine that I'm really happy to be working with. Unfortunately, nothing has been released yet, but we have been very busy getting a lot of things ready for release. And
In the can.
a lot of things in the can.
Yeah.
Yes, we almost got a whole 6-pack.
What?
And it's very exciting. Also started up another podcast with some friends called Need for Speed Running. And
Never heard of it.
It's been going very well. And it's nice to have a podcast that I don't have to do research for. I don't have to edit, and I don't have to run the show, at least to
nice.
the Raw Dog side. And it's nice to just show up and just once a month be a part of it.
Amen.
And yes, so
God bless. I'll tell you.
Dylan, you love that.
I fuck it. That's all I can do.
So yeah, it's great to be doing a lot of video editing again, because that's something that I love doing, and I studied in film school, and probably my favorite aspect of filmmaking. So to be able to get paid to hang out in my robe with my cat and look and talk about video games is a great thing. So
Amen, man. Yep.
That's cool. I've
That's
listened
what
to a few
life's all
episodes.
about.
You guys are really good, actually.
thank you. You should tell me that unprompted during a podcast. Be like, hey, Brad, I checked out this episode. That feel good, man.
It's really good, man.
Well, yeah, I'm glad it makes you feel good.
When you say it on the air, it's like, did he really listen, or is he just saying this to sound nice? Which episode you listen to?
I listened to 2 episodes. Yeah,
Which ones?
it was the. I didn't.
Got it.
I'm trying to plug.
No.
Don't you understand? You want the pure honesty? I can't listen to any of us listen to
You can't-
podcast. I literally I can't listen to my own voice. I don't
Luckily, but Need
listen.
for Speedrunning, there's professional like speedrun people on there, so I get to just I don't talk as much, and you're mostly hearing real smart people talk.
I have a question though.
Okay.
When you're editing, are you used to your own voice now to a point where
I
you brush it aside?
You need to be extremely objective when you're editing yourself, and there is the Brad in my head, and then there's the Brad that I'm listening to, and they're different people, and it's very easy to separate myself. So, and sometimes I even impress myself. Most of the time, I cringe.
Well, I was trying to do kind of a thing where like when you get like a sponsor and. I was trying to promote you.
Well, I've heard there's a new sort of therapy that's being done with virtual reality where you'll actually be talking to yourself and you can see like a projection of yourself.
I don't want that.
And it really helps you look at yourself from an outside perspective.
No, dude,
You are a dipshit loser, me.
Coming to PlayStation VR 2 soon. Tom, how about you? A positive personal development.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like Disco Elysium when you first wake up. And
I
you
know.
Look in the mirror.
Oh man.
Who's that?
I had first I had turning off the news this year was just a great thing to do.
Did you really the whole year?
Outside of January going into February, I pretty much just tuned the fuck out after that, and it was a positive person. Let's just say it was a positive personal development.
That's great.
But I do want to say I bought a standing desk this year and coupled that with a walking treadmill. And the standing desk has been a life fucking changer for a guy he's had a couple back surgeries and likes to stand a lot.
You like to stand?
I do.
Standing's good.
But it's one of those.
I think it's fine.
These purchases don't come along very often, but I'm sure you guys have had them where once you get something, you're like, why the fuck didn't I buy this years ago? This is what that has been for me. And so
I hear it's really impactful. I hear that like even at the unnamed place that will not be said, that I work at, a lot of the guys work at their stand-up desks. Mm-hmm. It seems to work, and it seems to like.
Yes.
I think humanity was meant to stand. I think sitting is kind of an evolutionary thing we got way too used to, and I think it's really fucking up our lines.
Well, I think it's a thing of balance too. And the problem with a lot of people who have computer jobs is they wind up sitting more often than they should. I think if you're on your feet working, that's great, and it's good to take a sit after that. But if you sit all day,
if your job is just to be sedentary like mine is, it is. It's been just a fucking windfall of awesomeness for me. So. There you go. That's my positive personal development.
That's great.
Check out Standing Desk, guys, if you have one of those jobs that require you to sit around all the time. And let's move on to category 8. We're getting down here, guys. We're getting down to the wire. Favorite YouTuber and or YouTube channel of 2021?
This one is so easy for me. It's called Comic Pop.
Comic Pop.
And it is 3 guys, sometimes a female representative is on there as well. And it's a guy who knows a lot about comic books. He's very jovial. His name is Sal. And he talks to his 2 friends who at first, like I'm talking like 6 or 7 years ago, knew nothing about comic books. And what he does is he gets like a graphic novel or like a set story arc, and he just kind of explains it to them while sitting on a couch. And this is not like a detriment to it, but it's my favorite fucking thing to fall asleep to.
Yeah.
I will put one on and I will fall asleep to it. And it's not even like I don't care. It's also nice to hear someone who's really intelligent about this subject be like, oh, and then this happens and this happens. And they're like, oh, wow, that's kind of crazy. And there's something really comforting about it. And it's also just like, I'm not going to read this fucking comic book. I might as well just hear what Sal has to say about it. And it's Comic Pop. It's definitely Comic Pop, because if you looked at like my YouTube, it's got to be, that's my most viewed, because I'll put on playlists.
Does anybody not watch? I mean, for me, my main YouTube watching time is right before bed. So,
well, and that's what it should be. Yeah. I mean, it's either I do that or I put on some like weird. There's some like weird like free for use documentary channels that come out, and it's like, and now we're going to explore Hadrian's Wall. Like,
okay, yeah.
And I'll be like, I don't know, I don't really care. And I'll put it on, and I'll just be like, okay.
It kept out the savages, baby. Come on, man.
It didn't really, though. Because that's what England is.
Comic pop.
Comic pop.
Dylan says comic pop. Brad, what do you say? Do you have a favorite YouTuber?
I do watch a lot of YouTube, and it's what I watch. Like when I jump on the treadmill, I always just bring my iPad, and I'll usually watch about 45 minutes of YouTube a day while I'm on the treadmill.
You run for 45?
I usually run 3 miles, which winds up being about 45 minutes.
Oh, that's cool.
With warm up and cool down.
That's roughly 15 minutes a mile.
Well, I also do. I walk a lap, and then I before and after. So I don't do 15-minute miles, but they aren't the fastest miles. But I do cardio every day, and that's good. Good. I don't know. I could say a lot of things, but as far as content creators, when something pops up, I get excited every time. Donkey is at the top. Video Game Donkey. His content is always very...
His stuff's pretty short, though.
It doesn't matter if it's short. I mean, we're talking about favorite creator.
Oh,
and if it's
okay.
a 5-minute video about him doing a fake Donkey Kong announcement, you got me. He did one thing. He's like, this is the biggest announcement, the biggest video that's ever been made. It's going to break YouTube. And he released a 3-second video, and it was a Donkey Kong commercial from Japan. And it's... His critique on games and movies is always very intelligent, and it's always got a tongue-in-cheek element to it, which is great. Watching him rip into Death Stranding, a game that I personally loved, I'm like, he's right. And then watching him do a re-release where he's like, I don't know why, but I like it. I'm like, he's still right.
That's what that game is.
He's never conceded who he is. And
well, no, yeah, I think it shows. Yeah.
And yeah, Donkey is always great. Runner-up, Nakey Jakey just made his first video this year. He took a long hiatus, and he's from South Dakota, so I always have a fondness for him.
Playing favorites over here.
If it's relatable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's got an album coming out I'm excited to hear because his music's really good too. So
damn, why don't you just kiss him or something?
And that chapter is some Scottish dude who talks about murder. That one's good too.
Oh, I think I've heard that.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go with the channel I watch the most before I go to sleep, and
that's perfect.
Yeah, it's called Minty Comedic Arts. It's just like one of those top 10 things you didn't know about this movie, which you probably knew about half of them.
That's fine.
But the guy, Minty, he's just...
His name's Minty.
I think so. Like he...
I think so.
Yeah, he's down in Australia, and, he's
got the voice. I understand.
He's got the voice, but he wears these like aviator sunglasses.
Oh, you're actually watching him?
So he'll be like, he'll introduce, and then he'll say, he'll come on every once in a while, and then he'll shoot to like clips and whatnot. But he always wears these aviator sunglasses where you can just see the rig that he's like recording into.
Oh God! How professional!
Just reflected, and so he does a great job. But that's probably, at least for this year, my most watched YouTube channel, because he's got a shit ton of videos. Top 10.
Oh, it's easy to make top 10s.
Things you don't know. Yeah.
It's the easiest content to produce.
And I could do top 10 novels from the 30s. I've never even read one. I'll do one right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 1, Mildred Pierce. That's actually
a lot of people don't know the truth about Mildred Pierce.
It's a story about
Burger King foot lettuce.
Oh yeah, Chills. Yeah, Chills also.
What's our next category, Tommy?
First of all, let's go back. Josh's positive personal development, yoga. Consistent daily yoga stretching has helped his body and back drastically.
Gay.
I am very jealous. I think it's funny that I think it's great
That's
that
not an actual diss.
The two younger guys in the show are in much worse shape than the two fellas that are a little bit older.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know about that, guys.
I'd say your body's ages are younger than ours.
Look at my big ass belly. It's still big.
I got a gray ass beard.
Like, come on.
You guys look good. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you've been doing, but baby.
I chipped my tooth yesterday.
There you go. There you go.
We're Dumb and Dumber over here.
All right.
Raw and rawer.
Next, favorite food. This is Josh's category.
He really, oh my God.
Hands down, buffalo chicken dip. No question, no contest.
From
Carly, from the Bones, from my sister-in-law. Anyone who makes
It's the
buffalo
easiest.
chicken dip.
I think I made it last year,
It
too.
might be the easiest, but it's also one of the most goddamn delicious,
can't go
addicting
wrong.
foods you'll ever eat.
Honestly.
Anyone brings that out, you'll see people swarm it, eat it, and then they'll skip the meal that was coming afterwards.
Yep.
Or they'll eat and they'll feel really guilty because they didn't want to eat more, but someone made a meal after the buffalo chicken dip.
just that layer of cheese, that thin layer of cheese that's on the top. Where you just have
Sometimes,
to.
yeah.
And some people do blue
Penetrate.
cheese, some do ranch. There's a lot of variations.
Blue
They're
cheese is
all-
the only acceptable.
They're all good, and thank you for making them, whoever has, because I've never made it, but I've eaten all of them.
Thank you.
Of course.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I can't dispute that. That's a very good.
That was the only category that you listed where I'm like, got that one. Everything else I had to think about a little bit. That was the only layup for me.
Right. Runner up, 6-piece chicken nugget.
Gross.
No, I'm
okay.
5-piece. I'm trying to cut back.
Gotcha.
They're like, they come in 6s. I'm like, keep one.
Dylan, you're a foodaseur.
Well, here's where things get a little bit complicated because I thought about this
Favorite
quite
food.
a bit.
All right.
This is
so
where it
in the
gets-
Matrix Resurrections.
I literally,
Neo's eating a burrito.
I had to like beautiful mind this situation. I cook a lot. For anyone who's listening, I do cook
Yes.
quite a bit, and I cook for other people. I cook for myself. I cook as a way of relaxing. I think it's fun to put on a podcast and just fucking chop away, like mix, stir, kind of figure out how everything's going to be put together. It's alchemy to me. It's fantastic. But I got to say, and I've loved this for a while, and I keep thinking about it, and I buy it a lot. It's called Mrs. Renfro's Ghost Pepper Cheese Dip.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I get the salsa. I haven't had the ghost pepper, the cheese dip.
It is hot. And my
She makes some
favorite
hot
thing,
shit.
I know. What I like to do, and this is going to be pro tip for anyone who's trying to eat healthy, but also just really needs that kick, right? You get, I did it today, by the way. You get from Target, they have a spinach jalapeno, or not a spinach jalapeno. They have an avocado jalapeno hummus. You get celery, you get baby carrots. And what you do, if you
You're
just
cutting
want
your
a
dip?
fucking snack,
You're cutting.
He's mixing it a little bit. So
no,
what?
I'm making this.
It's a baby
I'm
laxative.
making this wholesome, and then I put a little bit of the Miss Renfro's on a plate, right? And then I dip it right in the hummus, and then I dip it in the Mrs. Renfro's, and I pop it in. I swear to God,
Do you chew it?
no. of
How's the
course not.
swallowing?
It's great. I'm like a snake.
Okay.
You fucking idiot.
My jaw detaches.
I eat a whole carrot.
I've
just
seen
like a
Anaconda. I know how
1
this
pound
works. The whole carrot?
carrot. Yeah, of course. Duh. Anything else is insulting. But yeah, Mrs. Renfro's Ghost Pepper Dip. Because I found myself thinking about it constantly, especially late period. Late period
Renfro is my favorite.
No, late period like hyper pandemic. I was just like,
hyper pandemic Renfro.
because now we're entering like kind of like pandemic, but like earlier on in the year, especially, I was eating a lot of Mrs. Renfro's with just like tortilla chips, and my ex would constantly just be like, what the fuck are you doing to your body? And I'd be like, it's fine, who cares? And then like I would like a week later I'd be like pooping blood, and I'd be like, oh no.
Hope it was your blood.
Oh no, it was actually my period.
Oh, all right. Okay. So Mrs. Renfro's ghost pepper cheese dip, or what is it?
Yeah, it's ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper.
cheese
Okay.
dip,
Yeah. Good. That's good. I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
That does sound good.
I'm master of the trash taste. If you ever want to know, just ask.
My favorite food
At hair of the dogcast
Yes.
gmail.com.
My favorite food this year are Fry Jacks, which are in Belize.
Oh.
They are a
Oh, he went to Belize.
yes.
You better believe it.
Belize it, said Naruto.
Yes, they've never heard that before.
As he ran away with his arms in the air.
So they're all right.
To his back.
Belize.
For speed.
Belize is a developing country. Let's just say, so they don't really, they don't have elaborate breakfast, but they make this fucking, it's easy. It's like dough. It's fried dough. It's basically a fried jack is a donut hot pocket that you can put shit into. It's primarily eaten at breakfast time. So you can put you fry this dough, roll it in sugar, and then you can put, like cheese, eggs, ham, fruit.
They fry it before putting stuff in it?
Sometimes, yes. Yep.
This is intriguing to me. Is it like a sugary donut, or is it is it kind of like a savory?
It can be either. You can make it it goes with savory.
Sure.
The donut, like the donut, the encasing itself is just basically fried dough. Rolled in sugar, and then you just fill it up with whatever you want. And
so essentially sweet.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess if you want to. Yep. But that is my favorite. That was my favorite food of the year. If you're on Key Caulker, which is an island offside at Sibylongs, Belize, they have a fried jack hut there that is world renowned. So,
what are the best ingredients you had in that?
I'm like a standard, basically give me just scrambled eggs, ham, peppers, and jalapenos in this thing, and it's
honestly that sounds pretty fucking.
It's really good.
Yeah, you want to know what? I might make this.
Kate's planning to make it. We can have a fried jack party.
Let's do a fried jack party.
We can do different kinds.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
You don't know Fry Jack party where we play You Don't Know Jack.
Yes.
Dude, that's
I'm
actually
Cookie Masterson. Cookie Fried Jackerson.
It's been a long time since we actually filmed something. That actually might be all right.
Okay.
That's not a bad idea. Let's go with, since this is Josh's category, through and through, his favorite food and or meal of 2021.
Pizza rolls.
Turtle soup.
Pizza rolls.
Is it pizza?
No, it's. He said, my cheesy chicken enchilada soup. He's going with his own. He's going with his own. I think it's a dick move.
It's fine. It's okay.
Maybe it is the best, though,
Honestly, if you find a good recipe and you kind of... I would say my beef.
That's why I put,
is really
when
good.
people ask me my top 5 podcasts, number 5 is Hair the Dogcast, because it is the 5th best thing that I listen to.
It's true. I really like other
Need to listen to more, guys. Need to really broaden those horizons.
Best podcast of the year has got to be my own podcast, number 1.
Yeah.
I tell other people that. I'm lying.
I love Brad's show. I listen to it all the time.
But did you guys know?
I know. I'm
so glad I called you
promotion. Yeah, but also...
No, I don't give a fuck about promotion. I care about just testing you to see.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just trying to be...
I'm going to show you how much I care about promotion right now, because did you know, guys, that Hair of the Dogcast is part of the HyperX podcast network? That's right.
I like that.
HyperX is our sponsor. So thank you, HyperX, and the maker of the acclaimed Quadcast and Quadcast S microphones. Quadcast USB mics look and sound amazing, and they're packed with features such as with 4 selectable polar patterns, you'll get great sound no matter what you're recording. The included shock mount and pop filter mean you won't have to shell out extra cash for a great setup, because, Brad, why would you want to shell out more cash for a great setup when you get these things with the HyperX microphone?
If they have everything that I need, that's, of course, what we're going to be using. Big fan of HyperX. HyperX microphones, put your mouth on them. Don't include that.
Don't do that. But then there's the eye-catching LED indicator and tap-to-mute sensor, so you can tap in and tap out to stop broadcast accidents. And we know all about broadcast accidents, don't we, Dylan?
You edit
Don't
me.
we?
Dylan.
I volunteer.
So it's time for you to tap in with the HyperX Quadcast and Quadcast S. Thank you, HyperX.
Here I am.
Sponsor.
I'm going to unmute Dylan now.
Right?
Beep. I'm back now. Hello.
So many times I'm like, we get to the end of
I'm
the
gonna
episode,
say something naughty.
I don't have to do much editing, and then somebody opens their mouth and says something like, oh, I gotta fucking edit this now.
I'm going to say something naughty. I'm doing it.
But, all right.
I remember recording the first episode of Dylan. I'm like, oh.
All right, back to the show. We're down to our last two categories here of our best of 2021s. Favorite guilty pleasure. I'll I'll go here. I think I mentioned this on one of our One for the Roads on our previous podcast, but favorite guilty pleasure of 2021 is hands down this shitty reality TV show called Below Deck that's streaming on Peacock. It's all about people working on yachts for about 6 weeks at a time and dealing with different kinds of people who are chartering the yachts. So
You get to see what it's like for the regular people.
it's so schlocky, but it's still somewhat entertaining and interesting because it is a workplace kind of reality show. So that, I don't know. I think this might have something to do with the fact that also this year I started maybe dabbling in some edible substances. And
Really?
I don't know.
Maybe we
that's
don't
the
know.
rumor.
We don't know.
That's the rumor, and I can't stop watching this show.
Okay.
Whenever these things make it into my body, basically. So it's a guilty pleasure, but I still enjoy it, and I think I binged fucking almost all the seasons now, and there are like 800 seasons. So.
I haven't. Like, what is this show on? I haven't even become aware of this. I know you mentioned it one time before, but I haven't heard of it.
It's streaming
since then.
on Peacock. I think it's a Bravo show originally, but it's still going. And there are there's Below Deck Mediterranean. There's the original Below Deck, Captain Lee.
Yeah.
Captain Lee. I want to have a beer with Captain Lee.
Okay.
And there's Below Deck Sailing Yacht. So there's all these different offshoots. Okay.
How scripted do you think this show is?
I don't know. I would say not very. It does seem pretty authentic. Okay. But it also does seem like they do play up to the fact that they are on camera.
Yeah.
So there is that. But you know what you're getting when you're getting into this shit.
Well, that's going to happen anyway, especially when it comes to like interview stuff. They kind of jab at people enough to get them to say like, "Oh, use different tenses."
Yeah.
In this,
the moment I started going to film school, and they were, I was watching Pickers, American Pickers.
Yep.
I love Pickers.
And they pretend like they're just driving up to the house for the first time. And I said, there's a camera inside the house watching them pull up.
Yeah.
They showed up. They set up a cameraman. They set up a camera outside. They got them waving at them pulling up. And my mind was just racing. I'm like, how much of this is just not
Sorry,
real
the
at
illusion
all?
is broken.
My favorite part is when the old man that they drove up to and they talked to or whatever, who showed them his barn full of crap, goes like, "Yeah, it was nice to see the guys. We've been friends for years." And you can tell that he just doesn't fucking mean it.
There's one where he said, "Of course I listen to Brad's podcasts. Because I listened to a couple of them. They're really good."
Well, that's exactly what I did. You have to understand, I'm not a reality TV show contestant.
Yes, it's true. Although Below Deck, you should check it out, Dylan. I think you might like it. And I did have originally also listening to Dua Lipa this year, and then I'm like, no, fuck that. That's not a guilty pleasure. Dua Lipa is fucking amazing, and everyone needs to listen to her. So
Be proud.
Yep.
My guilty pleasure.
Brad, yes.
Initially, I was just thinking taking baths because I just love taking long baths.
That's not guilty, though. I take baths all the time.
Baths are good.
I feel a little guilty about it sometimes because it does take up a big part of my day. That was initially what I was thinking because I didn't have anything else.
A big part of your day.
You don't understand my baths, Dylan.
What the fuck do you do during your baths?
I watch a whole movie. I'll watch an entire movie.
Oh my God.
That means you're adding water and taking out water, right?
But what I decided ultimately is my
Brad stew.
My guilty pleasure
The Apocalypse Now Redux.
is coaxing Dylan into talking about the MCU. There's nothing Dylan hates.
I hated that. I hated it.
There's nothing Dylan hates more than talking about Marvel movies, and any chance I can to get him to talk about his thoughts on Marvel movies. The problem is it's great content because you're so knowledgeable about comic books, but he hates it so much, and it makes me so happy. And I know
I know this
I
shit.
knew that you did that to me, by the way.
I'm like, all right, let's talk about Marvel movies for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Fuck, this is the Doggies After Dark.
That's a great one, actually. That's awesome.
Did it turn out okay?
It turned out great. And the thing is, you're really good at talking about them. What I'd really like to do is do a series where we rewatch every movie one at a time and then do an episode.
I would fucking do it.
And the problem is the content would be great even if you're like, oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
I will watch Iron Man 1 again.
Yeah, but then there's also Iron Man 3 and Thor 2.
Those are fine.
Thor 2.
See, here's the thing. I think all those movies are fine. The problem ends up being is how people fixate on them as these cultural icons. Never mind.
Yeah. It's good cinema.
I'm literally
give me
about
a
to
break.
like break down like
Put the table down, Dylan. Put the table down.
You, Martin
Stop it! Everyone, shut up!
We got fucking Martin Scorsese
I'm
over
transforming.
here.
Oh my god! Yeah, I'm
right.
definitely a Martin Scorsese. type.
Dylan, how about you, man?
My guilty pleasures that I don't really have guilty pleasures anymore. I've actually decided not to have guilty.
You've thrown it out. They're all
I
pleasures.
don't. I honestly, I don't
I
care.
have no shame.
I kind of had a bit of a mental breakdown at one point this year, not to get too into it. But then I decided, I don't know, I'm just going to kind of lay it all out on the table, and it's great.
Sure. Okay.
There's nothing, I could just admit to crap. It's like, what could you possibly do with the information I provide freely? Because guilty pleasures are a fear of shame at the core. And I don't feel shameful on the things I like or the things that make me cry or the things that make me feel happy, sad, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. I think calling something a guilty pleasure is a societal pressure that shouldn't exist.
And that's why when I get done working on a Saturday night with all of my coworkers, everyone's like, let's go out here, let's go out there. I'm like, I'm going to go home and take a long bath. And everyone looks at me really weird. That's why it's a guilty pleasure.
It's not, but it's not guilty.
I feel
Because you said it.
No.
Do you feel guilty?
I mean, if you feel that little bit of shame.
When I say it, I don't. When I say it, I don't. When everyone looks at me like, yeah?
But guilt is not the feeling. You don't feel guilty because you did nothing wrong. Guilt is a feeling that you did something wrong. Whereas if you're hurting no one and you're not doing anything, you've never done anything wrong.
It's being judged. You know.
But okay, but
Our last topic will be a really quick one, I have a feeling, right?
The last category.
There's no contention or thing to talk about on this video game podcast, right?
Oh, well,
I mean, we're actually going to talk about video games.
oh, well, we could do that too. But also, I was willing to delve into the psychology of this. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Tom's got a secret Santa party he's got to get to.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. They'll be fine without me. They don't even care.
They won't even notice you're there. You just want to go drink
won't.
beer at this German beer area.
I probably won't announce my presence there.
You'll be dressed as Santa, though.
That's right.
Yeah.
From the waist down. All right, finally.
Firefighter from the way up.
Your
Surprisingly-
great pubes are going to be.
Surprisingly, Josh did not have a guilty pleasure. He just totally. I'm
not doing it.
That. I'm not doing it.
Not
Can't
doing
do it.
that one.
I'm not guilty.
I don't
Not
have
guilty.
weakness.
I don't have to choose that one.
Of course.
Turtles and Ghostbusters. Nope.
All right, guys. We can make this one a little bit
Bum, bum,
longer
ba-da-da.
if we want to.
We have to.
Final category. Favorite game of 2021.
It's the Dylan Show.
Oh, Dylan.
We did it.
Come on down.
Number 20.
Dylan, you're the contestant on the Dylan Show.
I'm so honored to be here. Wow.
Hi, I'm Dylan.
Oh,
What's your favorite game, Dylan? Oh, thanks for asking, Dylan.
Well, it's kind of a long story, Pat.
Actually, you don't have to worry about that, Dylan. I've already made it.
I'm not guilty
made a
about
list?
it. I'm not guilty.
Yeah. Let me tell you what your favorite game is.
Please tell me.
No,
Because I don't know.
Dylan. Your favorite game
Dylan.
of 2021.
I have to just say one thing.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Do I?
You can say whatever you want,
No, you
man.
can.
This
you can say
sucks.
your favorite runners up. Yeah.
Keep
Hopefully
it
you.
under 20 minutes.
Yes. Hopefully, maybe under 7 would be great. But
I was hoping we could go through and then go through a quick list of me going
If you want me to read a list, we can. We got 7 minutes.
just
After we're all done with what we just talked about, at the end we'll go through the list and I'll be like, played? No. And I'll say or yes, and I'll be like, was it good? Yeah. Or I'll be like, no.
Okay.
So what is your game of the year?
yeah. Do you want to start with a couple runner-ups?
No. Start at the top.
All right.
Drum roll,
Start from the
please.
top. Now with you.
Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread.
What?
Period.
No way.
I'm a Metroid guy.
You do love loading times.
I'm a Metroid guy.
I like looking at Samus go down cool elevators, so it's fine.
Yep. Okay.
I don't really give a shit.
Thank you very much, Dylan.
And also, it's
All right,
just
Brad.
a very good video game.
No, just kidding.
It's
Why-
all,
Tell us why.
because they haven't released a 2D new Metroid since 2003 when I was 13 fucking years old. Yeah. All right. So maybe I'm a little bit roped in by that. Well, I'm roped in by that, definitely. And
yeah,
I'm supposed to like I knew this was made for me the moment it was like decided. And I even said
it was decreed.
When it was first shown off at E3, and I think we were here for it, and we did the Nintendo press conference.
You said, right. I'm going to be in a bad mood for this. And there were so many good things, and you were trying to be in a bad mood, but you were like happy the whole time.
But then they showed Dread, and I was like, yeah, but the art looks kind of dumb and weird.
The world is jarring at first.
It is jarring at first, and then everything kind of clicks. I think that whole world is built on visual clarity because you always know where Samus is on screen, and you always know what she's doing as you make her do it. And I think it has to look that way. Otherwise, there would be too much mud, especially the fact that this game is so fast. It's quick.
It performs very well.
Yep. Everything about this game, if I could like get real Aspergery, I would go into the economy of the controller.
Adjective of the day.
Yes. It would be the economy of the controller use in this video game. Every button does something, and every button has a specific use. And it's almost like a fighting game in the way that if you press a certain thing one way, the arm cannon will fire in a different way. Or it feels to me like it was so deliberate and forward-facing that this is the future of the genre. I do have my problems with it, though.
I didn't love the aiming.
But this is traditional Metroid aiming.
No, the Super Metroid, you aim up, aim down. You don't have like a range of where you're aiming.
Oh, really? The twin stick style, you kind of do.
No, in Super Metroid, like you either have the trigger like at an either goes up 45 degrees or down 45 degrees.
You don't like the twin stick part of it?
No, because it's too inconsistent where I'm trying to hit certain bosses with the missiles, and I think I'm doing it right, and it's never hitting exactly where I want it to.
It took a little bit to get used to that with the Emmy encounters where you have to like hit them right exactly on their heads.
Yeah, but that almost feels like
the Emmy encounters.
I loved them.
Were good for a while. I think that they got stale, and I think they were overused. Granted, I'm going to say this is my number 3 for my games of the year.
I think honestly, if you view the Emmys not as enemies but as puzzle boxes, as kind of traps to avoid, then you've kind of got the right idea, because it's not something that's chasing you, it's something that you have to
chasing Emmy.
Right, because every time you enter from a certain side, they'll spawn.
Kevin Smith is contacting us.
Well, the truth is, they'll spawn in a certain point every time you come in from a certain door.
And you just need to find a long straightaway where they might have to go under something.
Right.
You have to shoot it way too long, and then
I like those encounters though.
I think
they did add a little bit of like.
I think they were successful, in especially like the tension that it builds. Because even later in the game, where you think you might have the right option for shooting down the Emmy, and you're just wrong. Also, this game is super forgiving. It's not like earlier Metroid games where it's just like, get fucked, go to the save point.
Where you save. Yes, those checkpoints.
Yeah.
Are nice.
Like, especially after you face the floating eye enemy and then you take the power of the Omega beam.
Taking that power of the Omega beam every time, though, I'm like, one of these fuckers again. I don't know. Reused bosses, I don't love.
I have a feeling this game was made under very strategic conditions, and I can only say that this is really not a Nintendo game. I have to say that this is made by the people who did, exactly, the people who made Samus Returns, which is the remake of Metroid 2. And for that, fucking props. You made a better video game than maybe Nintendo would have ever done. I think that this game is artistically sound. I think that for the first time I actually give a shit about a Metroid story, which is weird because I always absorbed it. And
No, but you also said before you started, like, just so you know, this is the last one in the Metroid timeline story. So you're like, just so you know, Brad, like,
but this is
this is the last one you get.
Like, story wise, this is the last one. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
And
this is a mythology you build for yourself.
It's like when people call Link Zelda the whole time. It turns out they were right.
Zordo.
Yeah, it's like, that character Metroid's great. Spoiler warning.
Right. But I honestly like even like the QuickTime events kind of stuff that I normally find stupid kind of has its own functionality. You get a flash right before it and it's all about timing. I get it. Except for the Emmys.
The trajectory of the Metroid series is great. Specifically the 2D, because I have a lot of fondness for Super Metroid and a lot of fondness for Metroid Fusion. And seeing like
Fusion is very good though.
And
too.
seeing the like all of that being referenced in the story for this was so great.
Yep.
And
the X Parasite and everything.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
It was,
and the X Parasite is the Emmys kind of reference that a little bit with like the survival horror aspect of sprinting through an area. That was my favorite part of the Emmys. The actual encounters, yes, puzzle boxes, they're fine. I get it after the first few, and then they become a little tedious.
You ran through the game though pretty quick. I love Metroidvania.
I played through it like I play through a game. I don't know if I played through it quick.
I know.
Yeah,
but like I like.
It was good. I liked it a lot.
I like
diving. I like diving into corners, kind of being like, did I miss something here? Kind of really taking in the world around me, especially the backgrounds in this game are maybe the highlight. They actually show you what the game really is, because in early Metroid games, it's like you're in these like compacted tunnels. And you don't feel that sense of depth and scale, but what this game does is it makes you feel like you're entering large rooms.
There are
even if it just
it's more open, multi-screen kind of environment.
And that 2.5D really kind of brings that about. I would argue that this is one of the most sound Metroidvanias I've played, and I'm even talking about Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which I think is pretty fucking phenomenal.
It's really great.
I think it's on par or better with Ori and the Will of the Wisps. But I also have the bias for Metroid. So
this Metroid specifically does a lot of very unique things with gatekeeping. It's hard to go the wrong way after you finish something. They will specifically they'll specifically block the area that you were just at in a weird way, and you can't go back. A lot of one-way doors, and
I still managed to get stuck for hours.
I did a few times as well.
Are you talking about like hidden blocks?
Hidden blocks.
And I don't know.
Hidden blocks were not a problem.
This is
for me.
a game design question where would you prefer it to be open and more exploratory and you need to figure stuff out? Or do you want it to be fairly, the cookie crumbs go this way, keep going that way?
Exploratory,
yeah. I'm not saying I minded it. I that comes with part and parcel with these games for me. So I know there's usually going to be a time where I'm just like, okay, where do I fucking go? So I just build that in.
I felt too much led down certain areas in this game.
Yeah.
I think good game design, for the most part, I didn't feel hyper led, but there were times where I'm like, well, duh.
I feel so much better. I remember those feelings of like, Bloodstained or Symphony of the Night, going to Metroidvanias. I remember that certain door where I needed something and I get something that can go through a certain thing. And this one, it's like, nope, go this way. There's a portal that takes you back over to this area, then right back over. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's not great because I fucking loved it, but it did. That's why it's not my favorite, of the Metroidvanias I have played. Yeah. It's great. It's fucking one of the best games of the year. Love it. But and the loading times are atrocious.
I guess. Listen, I play the Nintendo Switch a lot, so
if there was something,
I've been playing Disco Elysium on.
If there was something to engage,
what
are you doing?
me.
Engage me.
So much fun on this.
Engage me.
I play in my bed.
It.
If Samus is in the podcast, if Samus is in the elevator, just give me some inner thoughts to see. I don't know.
I played it on the PC. I played it on both. I literally bought it on the Switch when it was on sale.
Okay.
So now I'm being a big brute who goes around and just punches
That's
people.
Your guilty pleasure. That I'm updating your
That's not guilt. I don't feel guilt about it.
I feel guilty for you.
I know. I can speak to this. Dylan has never felt guilt in the past year.
I have felt a lot of guilt in the past year, but I'm abandoning it.
Yes, but
I pee on it.
You're right. Metroid Dread.
It's wonderful.
Very good.
And that won out over a lot of them over technicalities.
Yeah.
Because I have played a lot of fucking video games, as you're about to find out, folks. But I'm going to let these fine folks go. Tom.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my favorite game of the year is a game called Deathloop on the PlayStation.
I
5.
wish I could have played it. Wish I could have.
Tom
played
recently
I
was
wish-
selling a PlayStation 5. You could have grabbed it.
Wish I could have.
Yeah,
played
you could
it.
have.
Can't afford it.
Well,
Because of my cat's
Quit saving your
surgery.
cat's life so much.
yeah. So Deathloop
Wish
by
I could have played it.
by Arcane, Leon. Arcane, the makers of the Dishonored series. Prey,
Wonderful.
You know,
Never
have you
played.
have you played both of them?
Yes. Finished
Dishonored-
one, played
Dishonored-
halfway through. Dishonored
Really,
2. Yeah.
Dishonored 2 gets so much better.
I'm not familiar with Deathloop too much.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So this game took me by surprise because I had no desire to play it because I just thought it was like another shooter that's just trying to jump into the whole like roguelike fucking time loop genre. You know, it's pretty hot this year. And I didn't realize how many time loop games I played until I actually thought back. I'm like,
There are a ton this
Jesus
year.
Christ.
There are a ton
Replayability.
this year.
But I got it on sale, used at GameStop of all places. Like
For how much?
For a price like $20.
20 for Deathloop?
Yeah, used. And I'm like, I can't pass this
It
up.
was 60 at the beginning.
Yeah.
When did you
Most
get
games
it?
are.
Most games are.
No,
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it seems kind of crazy to me that
Games drop fast. I almost grabbed Valhalla the other day for 20, but I'm like, I'm not going to play it for a
could get it
year.
for
It'll
5.
drop to 20 again.
you could get it to 5.
Probably get it for free with the DLC.
So, time loop.
So,
Yeah,
anyways,
tell us about it.
I got it, and I'm like, I can't pass it up. So, I actually went there to get like the newest Far Cry because I'm like, oh, it's winter. I'm just gonna play a shitty Ubisoft game, but I can't not buy this.
I hate that you're just like, I'm just going to play the shitty thing.
Fuck it. It's a happy. It's like comfort food for like the winter.
Yeah, they have good shooting mechanics. I'll give it that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just ticking off the boxes. So I'm like, okay, I have Far Cry installing on my Xbox. I'm gonna pop in Deathloop and just dick around for like a couple minutes while it's installing, and like the game like just ended up fucking like just like taking up my time. So the gist is you basically in my notes here you relive like the same day over and over again, and your main goal narrative impetus is to find a way to kill like the 7 or 8 like bosses that they call visionaries on the same day. So you advance through the game. So you progress through the game by looping the day multiple times. There's like only 4 levels, but each level has a different time of day that you can go to. So you start each day in the morning, and then it goes to evening, and the levels change depending on what time of day it is. Like you get more enemies. Some new parts open up depending on the time of day.
Sure.
Some parts are cordoned off. So your goal is to basically find a way to line up all the visionaries to be in the appropriate spots where you can kill them all in one day. So that's kind of the gist of it. But the game borrows like elements from a bunch of other games, like roguelikes, Dark Souls even, and its own titles such as Dishonored.
Yeah.
But it really like mashes them together to a point where it does it so well that it becomes its own thing. And I don't know how to explain it, but at the main characters are pretty cool. Colt's the main character that you play as, and this is the other character, Juliana, who they have like a history that kind of unfolds through the game, and they have a really good chemistry. They're like frenemies. Juliana constantly like taunts you that she's gonna fucking kill you, because she doesn't want you to break the loop for various reasons, and so she can invade your playthrough.
She's another player, right?
She can be another player, or like Dark Souls, it can be like a
bot.
computer, a bot, yeah. And so if she invades your level, you cannot escape the level unless you kill her and or hack this machine that has locked all your doors. So you can kill her, or you can hide from her long enough where she, just gives up and goes away. But
I guess my biggest question, the thing I loved about the Dishonored games is that it's so much of its own. It's almost like an adventure game where you can find other solutions to things, and you can kind of figure out how to get through things almost by being non-physical, or like choosing not to kill people. It sounds like this game doesn't really have a ton of that. It feels like, is it more of an FPS?
No, you get powers. Each of the bosses has like possesses a power, and if you kill them, you get their power.
Sure.
But each of the powers like kind of complements whatever play style you like. I was the stealth guy because the first power you get is literally blink, or a version of blink from Dishonored.
Teleport, essentially,
And
Brad's just nodding his head like, Blink. I remember Blink.
Mega Man, take the enemy's weapons. I get it.
Pretty good, yeah.
It's not just like a first person shooter. You can play it. You can tackle different situations stealthily. You can go in and guns a blazing. There are powers ups and guns for that, and so it really lends its. You can play it any way you want. And it's really, really fucking good. The game it throws a lot at you at first when you first start playing, and to the point where it really does have a learning curve. And the game is deep. It's really well designed, but the game is deeper than you think it is. But you don't really, at least if you're me, you don't realize that right away. They take you through a tutorial, like I said, they just throw a lot of concepts at you, but don't really go into really explain them that well. So as you're playing, all of a sudden, like I reached a point one day, it was probably maybe a week after playing, where it finally, like I had that point where like it just clicked in, like, holy shit, this is what this game like is teaching me or wants me to do, or like there's so many different ways to approach things, and so many different like ways you can tackle levels, or even like reasons to tackle level, because you can kill these bosses multiple times, and each time you do, you get an upgrade to the power that they possess. So you can just like do runs to.
It's constant rewarding, even though you're going like that. That is a technical roguelite kind of idea.
And you mine this material. It's called residuum, and then you can infuse that into
unobtainium.
Yeah, right. So that's you can infuse that into your weapons that you want to carry across loops, or your powers.
So all you're getting is more powerful. And so it makes it easier the next round in the next playthrough. To just be like, I can perform this like a ballet, like a dance.
But you can't save. You can't save willy-nilly. You get basically three lives to complete a loop.
Okay.
And otherwise the day loops and you lose everything.
That's actually kind of interesting. That plays against like a lot of modern conceptions of video games. I like that.
It's really fucking good, guys. Like
you'll have to show it to me sometime.
Yeah, it'll be on. It's a PS5 exclusive right now, which is funny because it's actually like a Microsoft published game. It's a Microsoft studio.
Well, I mean,
okay. A Deathloop speedrun. How fast do you think someone can get through that day's worth of events?
I like this.
Do they have the world record right now?
I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Okay. Jeez, man.
Because, I mean, this is a game that you get a lot of your initial time through. This is fun replaying and trying different scenarios.
Yeah, if you're not upgrading yourself and you just want to like fucking just go through, you could probably do it maybe 2 hours.
These motherfuckers are crazy. We have 17 minutes as the
17 minutes?
The world record.
Good fucking
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Glitchless is 40 minutes.
Oh my Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, speedrunners are crazy.
Yeah.
It's always fun to take a look.
It took me like 25 hours, whatever, but I spent my time.
That's what a normal
That's supposed to be how you.
But anyways,
that's what they want from
I could not stop thinking about this game. I couldn't wait to get off of work to just like fucking play it like all night. And yeah, my favorite game of the year. And
that's the sign, man.
Boom, that's it. Runner up, I think my favorite gameplay experience was It Takes Two. Playing that with my love partner, we had a good time. That's a great call.
I played some of that game with my love partner. Is Kate much of a gamer, and did you finish the game?
We traded controllers every once in a while. We are on the last level.
Okay.
Yes.
Because there were some scenarios where I was like, Carly couldn't do this part.
Yes, there were a couple. I was actually pleasantly, I shouldn't say surprised, but
Surprised.
Kate picked it up pretty well because we take for granted a lot the fact that you have to control a person and a camera at the same time, or aim and move. And a lot of people have not played games like that.
Talk about Mario 64.
That's one of the biggest barriers to people that haven't
Gaming
played
in general,
games.
yeah.
Right.
Because,
Matt can't do it.
That's Carly's thing, too. She's like, I can't move and look around at the same time.
Whereas
we take that so for granted.
Yes,
I think we had so much practice with it because I think even back in the day, you had to smash your head against that idea. Now it's like something you'll learn right away. But back when me and Brad were like, when we were like 6 or 7, we had to be like, okay, so the camera shifts this way and when you do this and it's inverted or whatever. And it's something you just had to get used to or you couldn't play the fucking game.
Yep.
Now it's like,
it's a barrier.
Now it's the basic language. It's like any part of technology.
Yep.
I think it's so interesting to think about that because
Take it for granted, yeah.
well, it's just like I can show Matt a game where it's like, oh, this game it's so good. I'll be like, check this shit out. And he'll be like, I like it, but I can't do it.
Right. So, Brad, let's get
Tell
your...
us, baby doll.
Yeah.
Give it
I
to
know
me.
what it is.
My game of the year, I played a lot of games this year. Not a ton were from 2021 though. However, but as far as games I played this year, I played Metroid Dread and I loved it. And from the 3 I'm going to mention, you're going to tell the kind of gamer I am. I'm much more of a mainstream gamer. Dylan's the one who informs me on a lot of indie things, and I love them and I check them out. But
It's fine. It's okay.
Sorry,
Metroid Dread,
I didn't play a lot of indie games. this year.
Metroid Dread, I did love. My runner-up is going to be Halo Infinite, which I'm surprised made the list at all.
Fun game.
Because
Honestly, it's on my top 10.
Halo Infinite's great, and the
You guys
fact
beat the campaign?
loved the campaign.
Did you? Okay.
The campaign is, I think, necessary to understand how good the grappling hook is because multiplayer only gives you a taste.
Yeah.
And
I love the grappling hook.
The grappling hook as a method of traversal is sick. It's
I love
offensively good.
I love it, but
And it's game ruining almost. It's so integral to how I move around.
Yeah.
Everything that I'm like, is this even Halo?
Can I ask you a question, though?
Yes.
Why the fuck would you make something so integral to the game a different button in comparison to like a power-up thing, like a drop shield or a fucking thruster or even like a...
You think the button mapping was bad for that?
I think the button mapping is awful on this video.
I guess, to be honest, I played with a different button setup the
thought
entire time.
The switching of the
switching of it is
That
so
sucked.
inconsistent.
That's why I just basically kept the grappling hook out.
But also,
I only ever used the grappling hook.
hook is the focus point. Why do you not make it its own thing? Let's not even consider it a power up. What if it just always existed?
Okay, I see what you're saying. You want it
I
mapped
wanted
to a
it to be
specific
its
button.
own thing. I don't want to
You're not
choose
wrong.
between a drop shield or a thruster or even like what's the last one?
That's your good point because it doesn't matter because the grappling hook. The moment I got another
Because I only ended up using that.
The moment I got any other power up,
You're not wrong.
I said, I don't care. I'm not going to not have my grappling hook. The only thing that you ever have to switch over mandatory is the tracking thing for
That's
invisible
it.
enemies.
That's it.
And it's only because it's unplayable otherwise.
Yeah, 'cause they'll
But
kill ya.
you're right. The grappling hook should have been its own thing because none of the other items become necessary. But my only issue with the grappling hook is it's so
Inconsistent.
integral and integrated into how everything needs to be done that does it not... Is it just a grappling hook game? And yes, and it's still that good. It's still that good. 343. They took an extra year. The story was a little all over the place. There's
like a Halo game. Yeah.
There's
Like
less.
any Halo.
Well, no. Well, there's less iconic moments where
Big man, and I'm talking over a radio. If you don't have captions on, you'll never know what I'm saying.
the classic Halo games, which I'm considering fucking 1 through Reach, there's always major set pieces and iconic moments where big things happen.
Right.
And this one doesn't have that because it's limited very much to one map. You can make your own moments, but what I did like was what felt like the Nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War a little bit, where the unique enemies and the way that at least the big guy talks to you, not the big orc, but the big brute.
To get like new weapons.
Yeah, and I thought most of it was great. It's not perfect, and that's why it's not number one. But if it's not the best step I've seen in the Halo series since Bungie left,
oh my god,
yeah.
Kudos to you.
It surprised me.
If you can make me play through 75% of your campaign and you're a first-person shooter like this, congratulations.
It gave me old school Halo vibes, which was great. But my game of the year is Resident Evil Village.
Of course.
Loved Resident Evil Village.
It's in my top 5.
That's a series I spent a lot of time with last year for no other reason than the Raw Dogs were covering it. I played through Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 1 was the reason I bought a GameCube back in the day. I do have a fondness for this series, despite not having played a ton of them. But Village had an extremely difficult job of following up Resident Evil Biohazard, Resident Evil 7, whatever you want to call it, which was designed at least partially as a VR experience, very successfely, and which was a major new direction for the franchise because through RE6 they were going into Mila Jovovich action, like over the top motorcycles, and not that that's good or bad, but that's where they were going. And 7 was like, we're doing horror, and then Village comes in and says, all right, let's just take Ethan Winters and
the
moldy guy,
Moldenhauer,
and a character that I have, I guess, mixed feelings for, but Ethan Winters is a good protagonist. He's very much a blank slate.
He's good. Yeah. I mean, like, if you want like a video game character that's a blank slate, but he has very basic motivations.
His poor hands.
But he's also like, he's like baby wife.
But
that's all you really need for anything to be related.
What works? Heads in that crystal?
What works for me in this is how it functions as a love letter to the series and a unifying piece that brings all of the franchise together, where you'll have Lady Dimitrescu's castle, which very much feels kind of like RE7. You'll have the over-the-top Heisenberg area, which functions as a Chris Redfield punching boulders, big set piece. It's got a little bit of everything.
And then you have like a walking simulator, which is basically like the
dollhouse, which is great. And they function in different styles of survival horror. And I loved it all. Moreau is a strange fish man who watches sitcoms and
a lot of people
hopeless
don't
romantic.
Like that. A lot of people don't like that section.
I thought that was the weakest.
Are you talking about Moreau or are you talking about the dollhouse? Moreau, I think it's the most maybe poorly executed, but it is. I understand what they're going for, and I like it.
I think it's the most thematically interesting because you're basically dealing with a marauding beast who's really sad. And I was just like, I kind of get it.
And
I'm gonna have to shoot you in the mouth with a shotgun, though. I'm sorry.
There's many moments of Ethan Winters narrating
your pustules.
His narration makes me laugh all the time.
I forgot it. Yeah.
Oh, why is this happening to me again?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
you fucking bitch!
You're the one who's cursed. He just got so many terrible one-liners, which I love, and I don't know. I start to finish, I'm like, I enjoyed all of this game, and the shooting feels great, and I went back and did some of the bonus stuff, and that worked fine. But as far as games of 2021, Village was my favorite experience. Halo Infinite almost edged it out, and I love Dread, but outside of those games, there wasn't anything that really stood out that I wanted to talk about.
Well,
there you go.
Let's have Dylan's list of 200 games.
Well, could someone bring up a list of the games of the year?
Let's visit Josh's list here.
Oh, shit.
He has a crying happy emoji for favorite game, and he just said, "Can't wait to play Deathloop in the new Metroid." So he's officially fired.
Oh, sorry.
Shit. Oh, shit.
All right.
Yeah, Dylan.
A few honorable mentions then.
Absolutely.
If we're not going to go through the list, I could literally tell you what I've played and what I have not played. There were a few things that I had to contend with in my mind. There's a game called Fuga, Melodies of Steel. It's a Japanese-made game.
Fuga.
F-U-G-A.
F-U-G-A?
Yep. F-U-G-A. Fuck you, Georgia.
Fuck you. Yeah.
But this game is balls to the wall. It's good.
Yeah.
This is a game that is a strategy game, and it's kind of a sim game, and you are a bunch of these kind of orphaned anthropomorphic creatures. I've explained this on a podcast before, but you have not heard it. However, so the game starts out that you are this peaceful village, and you're a bunch of these kids who are either cats or dogs. It doesn't matter. They're like, they look like furries. I'm not going to lie. There's like a furry element
Whatever
to it.
you're into, man.
Whatever. And suddenly one day this army attacks. They're
Furries?
basically like Dobermans,
Furries.
and they're all dogs, and they want to wipe out everyone who isn't like a dog creature.
This was your game of the year when I asked you 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Metroid, eventually I thought about Metroid.
He was wrestling.
But this is my second one. So what I said was, they come to wipe them out, and over the radio, they hear a voice that says, "Go up into the mountains, go into a cave. Like, we got something for you." And the children go like, "We're going to do it." And then they go away from their parents. They go up into there. And what they do is they find a giant ancient tank.
Okay.
And they get in the tank, and they start piloting the tank together. And they start facing down this like dog army. And your health starts getting low through a scripted sequence. This is not a spoiler, by the way. This is literally the first 10 minutes of the fucking game. If you have
Sounds
a
like you
problem
just spoiled
with it,
the first 10 minutes of the game, buddy.
Well, who cares? I'm not spoiling the rest of it because they've got a lot of other things to say.
Right.
So this is a game for furries, you were saying?
It might as well be. Actually, yeah. I will say that I mean, it's pretty good, but they're all children. It's just like if you're a furry and a pedophile, I got.
Is that the new
problems.
Mad Max movie, Furiosa?
Yeah.
I think it's
a game for furries. That reminds me like a machine for
Furry
pigs.
no.
What was that?
Furry oh no.
a machine for pigs.
Yeah, a game for furries.
Furry oh no.
Best game of 2022. We're going to talk about Elden Ring now.
Oh God. No, but
The gameplay is
Breath
insane.
of the Wild 2, guys. Come on.
so there's
Come
a
on
point.
now.
There's a point within this first segment where they're like, someone has to go use the soul cannon, and you're just like, oh,
Check out Raw Dogs for this story because I've heard this before.
You're just like, okay, and I'm
You have
like,
to sacrifice one of your dudes, and then you have to choose if you want to do it again.
Like James Brown.
and it's literally like, so you have characters who have specific abilities and ideas.
I've listened to this one before.
I know,
You've heard-
and you put them in there, and then they fire their soul cannon, and everyone's like, yeah, we defeated the fucking dog army, and then they're like, where's our friend that we put into the soul cannon chamber? Turns out it just completely annihilates you and takes away the character. But the game is essentially set on tracks, and it's a tactical game where machine guns do a certain thing, the main cannons do a certain thing, and grenades do a certain thing. The tank as you're moving along, and you gain health and you do this stuff, and there's a lot of social aspects, like you farm within the tank and you figure out all this stuff. There is something like deeply Fire Emblem-y about it that works for me on every single level, and it's also gorgeous, and the story makes a lot of sense, and the characters are really actually interesting.
Cool.
To a certain degree, you get invested through the action, which is what a good video game is. So, honestly, if you've got a fucking Switch, play this fucking game. It's called Fuga Melodies of Steel. Apparently, there's a whole series of games that take place in this universe.
The Furryverse?
The Furryverse.
Listen, I don't fucking know.
Tom, what's up? What do we got here?
I didn't know if were there any more. Like,
I mean, like, I could.
No, there aren't.
sucks.
All right.
You do. I asked you the other day, I said, is there any game of the year candidates I should check out while I have some time that are on Game Pass. You gave me a list of like 7 games.
Have you played Psychonauts 2 yet?
No, I haven't yet.
Psychonauts 2 is brilliant.
I have Psychonauts 1 downloaded, and I'd
Don't
rather
worry about that one.
Don't worry about it. Just played 2.
Watch a recap of that.
Because I played some Rhombus of Ruin in the VR, so I think I got it.
Okay, so you got the sequel to 1 and the prequel to 2. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about Psychonauts 2? Because that was on my list.
Yeah, that was on my my short list as well. What is there to say?
That was my number 3, actually.
Is it really? Yeah. Me too, actually. It is a very well playing platformer from Double Fine.
Yep.
Finally, their most polished game that they've ever released. I think their most fully formed game that they've ever released.
They're still incredibly small, right?
Yeah, but thank you.
They're not big, yeah.
To nail a platformer is a pretty big deal for a small studio.
I think being gobbled up by Microsoft allowed them to have other studios maybe critique the game a little bit and maybe add a little juju.
It's Xbox Game Studio money.
Yes, and they had an extra over a year to polish it because they didn't have to ship it like they normally release their games before they're fully baked because they need.
Well, my understanding is that the boss fights came in the last year.
Yeah, that's right. And I love this game because every level is different. You're not doing the same thing, and the presentation it's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing a great service. Just I don't want to. I don't know. I really don't want to like explain it too much. But the characters are charming as hell. The story is really cool. It's basically you're assembling the Avengers of Psychonauts to take down this big baddie that's been plaguing them for a while.
And then the twist happens, and I found myself. I don't know about you. I found myself genuinely surprised.
I was not.
I didn't pick up on the clues, and maybe it's because I was in like a weird point in my life where I had a lot of like.
But I didn't really know exactly
but,
what was going to happen. But when the twist did come, I'm like,
I mean, like saying it made sense, and after it's not like a shock. I don't think shock is the word, but I think they did a good job of hiding it. Mm-hmm. And that's basically all we can say without completely ruining the plot of this game. And so we're not going to say anymore.
Yep.
But I also thought that the platforming was good. The powers were interesting. And I also think that it connected really well. The playability is near perfect. There are a lot of foibles. Maybe if I play it now, it might be different. But
the first one?
No.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
The second one. I mean, like, there were jumps I made where I'm like, I know I fucking did this. And this isn't me being like unfair sport, because I've played Dark Souls. You've played Dark Souls too. Like, you know when you fairly die. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like I died for a reason here. That's and then there's like dying for no reason. You're just kind of like, I know this was the game's fault, and you have to kind of.
The Mega Man X podcast is next week.
Anyways, forgive yourself.
Psychonauts 2.
X6.
It's not your fault.
No, X6 is not my fault for sure. I know that.
It's not your fault.
Thank you.
All right,
We're
folks.
doing the Goodwill Hunting. I expected you to cry.
I don't like them apples.
Well, these have been our best of 2021. Oh my
God.
Thank you so much for joining us here at the Dogcast. It's great to be back. It's really,
it's great to be here.
It's really great to talk.
I miss this table, you know.
Yeah, it misses you. If you want to get a hold of Hair of the Dogcast, guys, I believe they can go to
at Hot Dogcast. We are on Twitter at Hot Dogcast. We are on Instagram at Hair of the Dogcast.
Our Gmail
is hairofthedogcast at gmail.com. Dylan just had a heart attack, everyone.
Oh my God.
And also, if you have any questions or thoughts, definitely send them to any of those things. Please write a review if you can. Definitely helps out the show.
Yep. Let us know your favorites of 2021, especially your best game. I really am interested in knowing what your favorite game has been. And we'll let you know. Or was.
Damn, dude.
Damn it.
And if you want to know what my list is, listen to Dylan Describes Everything.
Dylan's top 100 games of 2021.
Of the last 5 minutes. That's right.
Shit. I ranked them
All right, guys. Well, welcome to 2022. I'm not even going to say anything about this fucking year. I'm not going to jinx it. Let's just hope it is a year that brings not. Let's just hope it's a year. Yeah. It's going to be here.
I don't hope for things. I just expect nothing.
Also that. So, all right.
We'd ask, God is dead.
That's Rob.
Bingo.
Yeah, we're still here.
We just reappropriated it. That's right. All right, everybody. From all of us here and the Dogcast.
We love you.
We love you. And we will see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.